moving there, and they just bought the house.
Finding great candidates
So, yeah, they're
can be like, well,
it's on
trying to find a needle in a haystack.
right off of Bay Road over by the
all
good
You should be all set. Camera's on you though. If you want it turned over there, that's how you.
Okay, so there is just one, right? It's just
Yeah, it's just the one. So.
Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job.
No kids on the way.
Qualify candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
That's true.
Morning, William.
How are you?
How are you?
Just peachy.
The smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter
Peachy. Am I doing the
free. Just go to the exclusive web address.
Oh, yes.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's that? That I know. That's there.
That's right, we'll be good.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants.
So 62 yesterday, 29 today on my car.
So make sure you
I
use
figured
an
maybe
accurate
DY or maybe you would
thermometer.
sneak out and play
Temporal scanner
yesterday.
thermometer has
Monday.
been proven accurate
You went out
with
Monday.
more than
Monday it
100
was
clinical
48
studies.
and sunny with
Contact thermometers
pretty
have
modest
no
winds,
clinical
and it
evidence
was
behind
great. I
and
mean,
you
it
cannot
was,
rely
Was it
on
dry enough
Be
to?
vigilant.
It was, actually, it wasn't, there were a few soggy spots, but overall it was actually pretty good. We walked 13 holes.
Sawmill?
Yeah.
Somebody else, I can't remember who, that plays out there told me that he had been out there, literally sticks in the cups, just like sticks.
Yeah, they had sticks in every hole. Couple quick things. I'm just going with, and we can discuss it about why the change or how, but I'm just going with, I'm not really using Arner Investment Management anymore. I'm just RWS Financial Group. We can discuss that if you want, about how the name changed. Another thing at some point you could bring up is our affiliation with AFE, which is the Association of Financial Educators. I think that'd be a good thing for us to mention. So AFE is a nonprofit organization funded by grants to try to bring financial literacy to Americans.
Literacy is good. I'm pro literacy.
So basically what we do is we will go into businesses and provide them with some financial literacy deals. Like we go in for like we schedule them a lot of times like around lunchtime and stuff, and we'll do like a 45-minute presentation on a variety of, we'll do on a variety of financial topics. The idea being that, a business can bring us in. This is another service, just another benefit they're providing for their employees because they care about their employees and their employees' well-being. We'll go in there and do a series of financial literacy updates, whether it be on budgeting or retirement planning or Social Security or educational funding or hundreds of topics, basically.
Okay, so that's AFE?
AFE, Association of Financial Educators. It's a nonprofit. And we do that for free. So if a business wants to give me a call and it's something you'd like to provide for your employees, it's something that we do for free. Just as a way for us to give back and for businesses to, give their employees something to show that they care about them.
And instead of Arner Investment, it's the
RWS Financial Group.
RWS Financial Group.
And if you can, we can discuss why if you want, but I can say, I don't want to confuse anybody, but I started my business in 10, and then we merged with RWS in 19, and for a while we were both, and now we're just RWS. And we do have offices in Saginaw and Bay City.
Did they buy out your? You were talking to us at breakfast about like they would have to buy out, or you would have to buy them out if you didn't want to use their name or something like that.
Correct. If we ever want to get out of it, then I'd have to buy back the 25% of my business that they bought. Plus, we're going to end up owning 50% of the business in Bay City that we took over for them.
It's hard to find these days.
But that's if we wanted to leave, but I don't see any reason that we do it when I'm still working. Nathan thinks he wants to get out after I leave, but
Let him save his pennies and get out.
For every style and every budget.
Yeah.
This Christmas, give the gift they can
Yeah,
open.
so, no, it's going great. We got a potential gold mine with this Bay City office because we work with, it's in the Winelander Fitzhugh building. They're CPAs, a group of CPAs in Bay City.
Is that downtown or no?
It's on Center, just east of downtown.
Okay.
But if we play our cards right and partner well with them, we should get a lot of business from them. In fact, I probably bring in, a good year for me would be bringing in $6 to $8 million in new dollars for the year. I'm bringing in $6 million in January from them.
Why them? What's the
WSGW News Time.
Why is that the magic formula?
Well, we have an office there at Winelander. That's where our office is. That's where the guy whose business we're taking over in Bay City, that's what his office was.
Okay.
But he didn't do a lot to cultivate the relationship with them and try to get referrals from them, where we're beginning to do that, and it's already paying dividends because the CPA, the head partner, actually has 3 accounts that he's the trustee on. It's not his money, but it's his client's money, and he wants me to take those accounts over, and that's like $6 million in new dollars in January, which is gonna, like, you know, like I said, a good year for me is like $6 to $8 million in new assets, and I'm like 6 in January.
So, tons more work, or not necessarily?
Yeah, well, the more clients you have, the more work you have, basically.
Right.
But
How many clients, how many humans does 6 million represent?
that particular one is just 3 accounts.
I was gonna say, it could just be a couple people with large.
It's 3 $2 million accounts, basically.
Really?
Which is big for us. I mean, my average account, we have probably 500 clients. Probably our average account is closer to like 300 something is our average account. I think I've got probably 5 or 6 accounts over $1 million. My biggest account is $3 million. And so I'm bringing in 3 $2 million accounts. So that's big for us.
That's very good. Very cool. We're also live stream video. So,
Seriously?
yeah, here's our camera right now. It's just
Pointing right at
in front
you.
of me. And then once we get in a very high-tech maneuver,
Spin it.
I'll turn over here. I'll spin it over to you.
Just keep it on you.
Read.
It's funny. Does anybody do that? Does anybody watch
There's
it?
like 7-ish people that will at some point, whatever. I'll see a count up here, but heaven forbid you just put up another camera and have it.
How do they do that? I mean, is it they just click on the website?
It's on the website or the Facebook page. It's
Oh.
live streaming. But it just cracks me up.
So we brought that, just so you know, I brought a few things to talk about. The market, obviously, what's going on with inflation and the Fed and their tapering plan, interest rates.
They don't have a plan.
There is a raise in Social Security coming for everybody next year. Everybody's gonna get a $400 per vehicle rebate,
Right.
car insurance. Anyway, just some things I got, whatever. I'll do whatever you wanna do.
All right, here we go.
What is with Art now? What happened to Art?
In a car accident Wednesday morning on his way here for the radiothon. Somebody just plowed him. And airbags got him mainly. So the airbags got his chest. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah.
And welcome into the Art Lewis Show on this brisk Friday. You know, the old joke is if you don't like the weather in Michigan, just wait 5 minutes. Maybe it's just wait overnight, because yesterday as I sat in this chair, it was 61 degrees, and I think golf courses were trying to figure out if they could put carts out. There were so many people wanting to play, and I just checked and it's currently 30. So for those of you who are not strong at math, that represents a 31 degree drop in temperature overnight. And fewer people are now looking to go out and play around the golf in December, that's for sure. Bill Hobson here sitting in for Art Lewis. The anticipation is that Art will return on Monday as he recovers from a traffic incident that happened on Wednesday, and we are hoping and praying for Art to recover fully. We're getting good reports, and we'll look forward to his return. In the meantime, you're stuck with me today, and when that happens, I usually put in a call to a friend of mine who I've known for probably 30-ish, maybe years, 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we both had more hair when we met. That's what I remember distinctly. Todd Arner and I connected for the first time as the radio team for Jerry Kill's Saginaw Valley State University Cardinal football program way back in the 90s. Starting to feel older and older by the minute. And Todd was at TV5 at the time. And in you can fill in the history, but at some point he broke away from television and went into where the real money is, in financial management, with the Arner Investment Management team, now known as RWS Financial Group. And he is in studio with us this morning to talk all things money, because here we are now coming to the end of the year, believe it or not. And it's probably a good time to reflect on where your management and where your wealth situation is. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Bill. Thanks for having me back, and let me first wish Art a quick and speedy recovery. Great guy, and I know we all want him back here as soon as he can.
Yeah, and especially the listeners, because they are tired of me after just one.
Yes.
You know, I tend to grow on people quickly that way.
By the way, we did do one game with George Eiler. Everybody remembers
his final game at Hillsdale.
Everybody remembers George Eiler, who used to coach at Saginaw Arthur Hill many, many moons ago, and then, of course, went on to had a great career at Saginaw Valley State University. We actually, our first game together was George's last game.
Yeah, at Hillsdale.
With Saginaw Valley State University.
Man, we do go way back.
We do.
By the way, for those of you who watch the Art Lewis show, because since the last time you were in here, a lot of things have happened in the world of technology, Mr. Arner.
Really?
It's a fast-paced, fast-moving world. And so there's now a live stream video camera that until 18 seconds ago was pointed at me, and I just went through the high-tech machinations of turning it around. So now people, if they thought I had a face for radio, oh man, wait till you see the one that's on there now.
That proves it.
So if you want to watch the show, you can go online to WSGW.com or onto the WSGW Facebook page. We are also going to open up the phone lines to you. If you have questions about the market, about financial management, about planning, about what to do with stock dividends or that kind of thing, that's kind of what we're here to talk about. So when I say, Todd, to you, it's basically the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you're hearing from a number of your clients who have questions about, am I in a good spot? Am I doing this the right way? What do you want people to examine here on December, whatever it is, near the end of the year?
Well, the biggest thing that we've been working on quite a bit here in the last few weeks is making sure everybody that is required to take a required minimum distribution from their IRA, or RMD as it's called, get that done. Last year, you may remember, because of COVID, the government waived the requirement to take that required minimum distribution from your IRA. And just to recap quickly for anybody who's not up on the RMD, once you reach a certain age, it used to be 70 and a half, it's now 72. Even if you have an IRA and don't want to take money out of it, the government requires you to take money out of it, a percentage every year. Why? Well, because the government would like some of your tax dollars. Because, yeah,
that's new.
When you claim that distribution as income, you then, of course, likely, not everybody, but you're likely eligible, required to pay some taxes on that, which is why they have you do that. Now, last year, again, it was waived. So if you didn't want to take the money out of it, you didn't have to. It's back this year. And the penalty is a little punitive. So if you don't take out what you're supposed to take out by December 31st, the IRS will penalize you 50% of that amount. So if you've got a large IRA and you're supposed to take out $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 and you don't, half of that's a nice chunk of cash that you're going to have to give the government on top of the taxes. So the RMD is one thing that, you know, you got to make sure that that's taken care of before the end of the year, certainly.
The entity known as the government seems to always be willing to help itself to some of your dollars that they've already taxed as you earned them, which is a great source of irritation to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know part of what your team specializes in is helping people shield as much as is legally possible from that sort of a fate.
Sure. You only want to pay the taxes that you're required to, right? I mean, nobody should or really needs to pay more than they should. And there are different strategies, things people can do to try to avoid paying more tax than they need to pay. By the way, I should mention, you mentioned my team. It's Nathan Breidinger, who's been with me for almost 10 years now, and Zachary Moulton, who joined us last year. So we have a team of 3. We have an office here in Saginaw on Fashion Square, and then we have an office in the Winelander Fitzhugh CPA building on Center Avenue in Bay City. So those are 2 places.
Well, along with the questions that I have for Todd, we want to hear from you at 989-752-6111 or 866-790-WSGW. So any financial questions you have will be welcome throughout the hour. So let me fire a couple at you as we kind of get moving on through. We keep hearing the lead story on the news is either vaccine mandates or it's inflation. I'm not going to ask you much about vaccine mandates because I don't think that's your specialty. But inflation, why does it matter? Well, let me go in reverse order. What does it mean, and why does it matter?
Well, it just simply means it costs more to buy goods and services than you used to pay. And in fact, right now, inflation, and they measure it year over year. So in November, this November versus last November, the general inflation number was up 6.8%. Now that is the highest monthly jump. Monthly by November, year to year. It's the highest jump since June of 1982. Why it matters is that it's costing everybody more to just do the things they've been doing all along. Now, you can make an argument if you're wealthy, if you have a lot of money, you don't feel that pinch as much, but the vast majority of Americans are living close anyway to paycheck. So if suddenly you're spending 7% more on everything than you were before, you're going to feel that. In fact,
some categories more than 7%, like meat.
Unbelievable. But right now they're figuring that's going to cost the American public about $3,500 more this year than last year. So you feel that. I mean, $3,500 is nothing to sneeze at. And you're right. It's interesting how some of the things have really gone up. Okay, like for example, energy, 33% with energy. But if you go a little deeper and say just gasoline, 58% increase in gasoline year over year
at the pump.
At the pump.
Yeah.
That's you getting your card out. That's you getting your dollars out at the pump. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, and they're complicated. But one of the reasons is our current administration has decided that we don't want to have coal, we don't want to have petroleum and all that stuff, and they're making it more difficult. So obviously the prices are going up. That's, certainly one of the reasons why that has happened. But that was huge. Food is up about 6%. One of the things that is up amazingly high, the price of a used car or truck.
Right. It's amazing. It's almost matching the price of a new vehicle, which you can't get.
31% increase in used vehicle prices.
That is stunning.
Good time to have a used car on the market, I guess. But then, of course, if you sell a car, it's like the housing. If you sell a house, everybody's going like, oh, you can get so much for your house. Well, unless you got another one already, you still got to go out and buy another house, right? So you're gonna get more for your house, but you're gonna pay more for what goes in.
Well, the thing that baffles me from just a financial standpoint is knowing that there's a direct correlation between the increase in prices and policies that are put into place. You can draw those straight line. It's not a complicated trip through a maze. It is from point A to point B. You enacted this policy and it bumped up the price of this good or service.
And they said it would.
Why not dial that back when you see that it's imploding on you and it's hurting consumers of all income levels?
Well, that's a great question. So when you see things are not working, you would think the normal reaction, the intelligent, the thoughtful reaction would be to say, I'm doing something, it's not working, let's do something different. That does not really seem to be where we're at right now. It seems to be,
it's doubling down.
Double down on it, move forward.
Let's pour some more gas on the fire and see if the fire goes out. So in that context, then, if someone listening is really struggling with the current price of day-to-day living, but perhaps has some investments or some savings, what is the best strategy for either maybe tapping into that or not, or avoiding it as best you can?
Well, let's talk just a little bit about the markets, because, capitalism is still alive and well, and the stock market in the United States, which many people participate in. If you don't have any individual investments, many people have 401ks at work, right? It's the number one saving vehicle in America for typical Americans. And the stock market has been, as somebody once said, been very, very good to me. Right now, the S&P 500 for this year, and we've got 2 weeks to go, is up 24.3%. So think about that. And that's one of the reasons why it is up so high, is if you go to a bank and you have money in a CD or a checking or a savings or a money market account, you are earning next to nothing, okay? Because that's where the rates are. That is also something that the government did, because in 2008, when we went through the financial crisis, the Fed began cutting rates and cutting rates and cutting rates and cutting rates. So the rates are very low. It's not the bank's fault. It's not the banks are being greedy. It's just that's where we are rate-wise. And if you want to get 0.1% on your money market and you're good with that, that's fine. It's a very safe place to keep your money earning nothing. So the fact that you really can't earn much in some of these other vehicles is part of the reason why the market has been so successful, because basically people with money, if they want to make money, they go to stocks. And that's why we're up 24%. In fact, if you go back and look at the last 10 years, the market has been up in the United States in 8 of the last 10 years. 7 of those 8, the S&P has been up double digits, okay? 7 of 8 years in double digits. The only negative years we had were actually very small. We had a negative 6.2 in 2018 and a negative 0.73 in 2015. So as you can see, the market really has been rocking in the United States over the last 10 years. It's been great for your 401k. It's been great for your individual investments.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, and I'm going to kind of lead us into the break with this, but you'll be pleased to know that in the last month, my business account for Hobson Media did earn some interest. I got a statement that
Awesome.
I earned roughly, I think it was 26 cents in interest on an account that has a fair amount of money in it.
Nice.
So I feel like I could use your help perhaps in wisely investing that quarter and a penny to make sure that it turns into at least 30 cents by the next time around. So we'll dig into that important question and more as we continue with Todd Arner as our guest in the studio here on the Art Lewis Show. Bill Hobson sitting in on WSGW. We're back with more financial talk and your calls after this.
Maybe if you want to talk a little bit about what the Fed is doing now, about the inflation, what they're doing, about how they just announced that rates are going to go up, start going up next year.
Okay.
And what that'll mean.
Will I earn more money on my account?
Yes.
Up to $1?
Where hunger goes to die.
This week's deal at RocketGrabPlus.com is for 40 fitness in Saginaw. You're going to get your monthly membership
Bring in camera 2.
for only $16. It's only $32 when you are getting yours at half off. $120.
You want to be a hero for the holidays? How about getting your loved one a new iPhone? That's right. Pure Talk has iPhone 12 starting at just $479 through the end of the year. And sure, they have 13s too. Switch to Pure Talk. Great nationwide 5G coverage. Yes, the same coverage as the big guys, but the average family saves over $800 a year. Now that's just smart. There's no need to overpay for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Plus, with Pure Talk's 30-day risk-free guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. And like I said, the iPhone 12, just $479. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill 50, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Plus, save on a new phone. That's pound 250, say Jill 50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Rivian Automotive shares have been losing ground after it reported its first earnings as a public company. The electric truck maker lost more money than expected on about $1 million worth of sales. Investors are concerned about Rivian revealing that production issues are impacting deliveries, even though demand is picking up. Rivian also revealed plans for a new $5 billion factory complex in Georgia, east of Atlanta. The Securities and Exchange Commission has fined J.P. Morgan Securities $125 million. The unit of J.P. Morgan Chase is paying the fine to resolve charges that it failed to preserve written communications of its employees. The SEC says employees were using Facebook's WhatsApp, text messages, and personal email accounts. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Your historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
What is your name?
Stanton Carlisle.
Can you read minds?
Yes, I can.
From director Guillermo del Toro.
What do I want?
To be found out, same as everybody else.
Now.
Are you in contact with the Beyond?
Yes, I am.
We've had our share of snake charmers. We deal with them.
If you displease the right people, the world closes in on you very fast.
Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara.
You're going to find out what's coming to you.
Nightmare Alley. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without an adult. Now playing only in theaters.
You have the chance to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2022 up to $15,000. It's the Home for the Holidays contest presented by Frankenmuth Credit Union on WSGW. Enter the contest online at WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and find the Home for the Holidays box presented by Frankenmuth Credit Union. Your mortgage or rent paid for up to $15,000 in 2022. Home for the Holidays presented by Frankenmuth Credit Union on WSGW.
And we continue on the Art Lewis Show. Bill Hobson sitting in for Art Lewis. The Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial realty needs, call Pinnacle Realty at 989-295-3900. And we continue with Todd Arner in the studio from the RWS Financial Group. And, we were talking before the break about the big windfall in interest money that I earned last month of 26 cents. But that, you're telling me, could go up a little bit because of some action being taken by the Fed.
Right. The Fed and the central bank obviously very active, involved in monetary policy in the United States. And of course, when the financial crisis hit in 2008, the Fed was now trying to help out by lowering interest rates in the United States, and they've been doing that since then. But now we're hearing for the first time those interest rates may start going up. But let me preface this with a question. So, if I asked you, or the average person, who do you think is the largest holder of U.S. debt? What would come to mind right away?
Holder of debt?
Yeah,
I guess I would think the banks would be.
I would think, well, how about another country? Who owns most
China.
of our debt? Yeah.
China.
That's probably what most people would say. China's actually third.
Really?
Yeah. Japan actually owns more U.S. debt than China does.
I did not know that.
China actually holds about 1.1 trillion.
That's these days, that's weak spending.
I know. And Japan is about 1.3 trillion. But the largest holder of U.S. debt is us. The central bank, the Fed, buying our own debt.
Like with the other 20 trillion?
$8.7 trillion is what the Fed balance sheet is. So that's how they've been lowering interest rates for years. So what the Fed has been doing is they have been buying $120 billion of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities each month to try to keep things low. Since the pandemic began, which was what?
17
March, February,
years ago.
No, it feels like it. February of 2020,
they have bought a total of $4 trillion with a T worth of treasuries and other U.S. securities. So
we owe ourselves
yes,
a considerable amount of money.
Correct.
Although I keep hearing the figure of a national debt being at $23 trillion.
Yeah, that's a little different number.
Is that
but yes,
projected?
No, that's what it currently is. Yeah.
Okay, who has the rest of it? You said we've got about 8, they've got 1, they've got 1. So where's the rest of it?
Well, that is a different number. The debt really is based on how much money we're spending every year as opposed to how much money we bring in, and that just goes up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
The balance sheet from the Fed is kind of a little separate deal here. But the reason they do that, the reason they buy those securities is it's supply and demand, right? Think of it this way. As you buy something, the price of it will increase, right? If you have a hot product or whatever, and the price goes, the demand is high, you can charge more for it. So as the price of these bonds go up because the Fed is buying so many of them, the interest rate or the yield on those goes down. It acts like a teeter-totter. As the price of a bond goes up, the yield goes down. As the price of a bond goes down, the yield goes up. So they've been driving the prices of these bonds up to bring the yields down. And that's one of the ways that they've been lowering interest rates ever since basically 2008. So
as they prepare to bump them up a bit, how will that impact our listeners?
Well, they're actually not bumping up, they're debumping. So
they're debumping.
So beginning this November,
it's a word of the day in here.
Beginning this November, they are cutting back the purchases. Instead of doing $120 billion a month, they only did $105 billion. Okay.
Same thing we did in our household.
Exactly. Now they're going to cut those purchases by $30 billion every month going forward. So eventually, by the time we get into 2022, they won't be buying anymore. That's called the Fed tapering. So they're not going to be buying those bonds anymore. They're not going to be artificially, or however you want to say it, lowering the interest rate. So they realize now that interest rates should rise, because interest rates basically are at zero right now. 0.25 is really what it is at, but it's near zero. What the Fed wants to do is they want to start raising that interest rate. Okay. So they are going to start doing that by just simply stop buying the bonds, which would tend to lower the rate. And then they're going to just raise the rate. They're just going to say, we're going to raise the rate 25 basis points. So they're saying that they're going to probably do that about 3 times in 2022. So interest rates, because we're not buying those bonds anymore, and that the Fed is raising the rates, are going to go up. And what that means is that you'll get more money from you will get, instead of getting 26 cents, you might get 46 cents.
Oh, man. Wow.
It'll go up.
All right. This is exciting now. Now you're talking my language.
But
Mr.
other things will go up as well. In other words, home mortgage rates, those will go up. Interest rates on your credit card, those will go up. So rates will start to climb, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because the rates have been artificially low for a long, long time. So they really should start coming up a little bit, which also has an effect on the market, because what's been getting hit a little bit lately are the big tech stocks. The tech stocks have been the darlings of the market now for several years. Well, part of the reason is those are growth type stocks. In other words, those companies aren't paying big dividends back. They're not old and clunky. They're younger. They're trying to grow all the time. They're expanding. They're doing research and development, building new factories. Well, it's easy for them to do that when money is cheap to get. But as money starts getting more expensive to get, as these loans go up, those growth type companies that have been really hot lately are probably the ones that are going to feel the pain more than the IBMs and, of the world and those type of companies.
It's easy to understand how consumers would be confused by all of this. And so what I want to do after this next break is come back and kind of hit the highlights of advice as we come down the home stretch of 2021, so that I'll just use myself as an example. I don't have time or the desire to try to make sense out of all that, but I want to know that I am taking the proper steps so that whatever those changes look like, that I'm best positioned for them. So I'll throw a few quickies at you after the break. We'll invite our listeners to do the same at 989-752-6111 or 866-790-WSGW. Your questions for Todd Arner from the RWS Financial Group after this on The Art Lewis Show.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, and only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Your Saginaw Spirit are back on home ice this weekend at the Dow. The Spirit will battle Western Conference rivals the Windsor Spitfires Friday night. Puck drop 7:05 at the Dow. Downtown Saginaw will be rocking, so don't miss the action at the Dow with your Saginaw Spirit. Great seats are still available at the Dow box office or by calling 989-497-7747. Or you can get them online at SaginawSpirit.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSGW online poll, favorite Christmas music, with Billboard magazine recently releasing its list of the greatest of all-time holiday songs, a list based on actual performances on Billboard's Holiday 100 from its inception from 2011 through 2021. Our poll question for you, we want you to vote for your favorite Christmas song of the top 20 from the Billboard list we offer, or write in your own if you so choose. That is what you can do when you go to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage and find the online poll box, click on it and vote that way. By the way, it will be a double click. You click on the poll box itself, then you'll have to make an extra click to get into this particular poll so you can write in if you so choose. WSW online poll.
For inquiring minds want to know, what song did you put in there, Charlie?
Well, I actually wrote one in Amy Grant's Breath of Heaven. She does a beautiful job.
I'm typing in Christmas, Don't Be Late, the Chipmunks. There we go.
Right.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
I know there are many parts of this nation where this music is also being played and they're accustomed to seeing green grass while it plays, but it just doesn't feel quite right here just yet. We need a little bit of snow. I mean, if it's going to be cold, let's at least have snow. And now if it's going to be 61, I'm good with it.
And we really haven't seen any appreciable snow this year. It's like, wow, here it is, almost Christmas.
Yeah, and to our friends who have ski resorts in the northern part of the state, they cranked up early, and they had a couple of 60-degree days. I don't know how all that works, but at any rate, Christmas is coming up in a week, which means year-end financial planning is at a premium. And as we continue here on the Art Lewis Show, our guest Todd Arner is in studio. And I want to give you a chance to talk about something called AFE, the Association of Financial Educators, because in the last segment, as you and I were talking through some things, you probably saw my eyes kind of glaze over at one point.
Sorry if I got a little deep into the weeds there for a second.
Well, just like the Serengeti without a machete, but it's because this whole thing can get fairly complicated, and this AFE program kind of is designed to make more sense out of all of it, right?
Right. Well, we've teamed up with a nonprofit group called the Association of Financial Educators. They exist solely by grants. And basically what they want to do is to bring financial literacy to America. Because it's one thing, and we've talked about this on the show before, we don't do a great job as kids are going to school and grade school and high school of teaching them about the basic financial things they're going to be dealing with, like mortgages and credit cards and taxes and all that kind of stuff. So the Association of Financial Educators has put together a ton of these presentations, and we've partnered with them. So what we'll do is if an area business would like to provide something else positive for their employees, it's hard to hold on to employees and attract good employees and stuff nowadays. So if an area business would like to say, look, this is something else we'd like to bring you, we will go in and we can do a series of these, I don't like the word seminar, but workshops, these financial workshops on a variety of topics, and the businesses can choose which topics they'd like us to cover, from budgeting to Social Security to investment planning to educational funding, you name it. I mean, there's actually hundreds of these, and we'll go into a business for free. We just do this as a part of giving back to the community, and we'll go into a business and we can set up a series of these. We've done them like around lunchtime, people can come in and we do a presentation. So that's one of the things that we offer through the Association of Financial Educators. So if there's an area business or you're in HR and you think that would be a good thing for your employees, let us know.
Yeah, the AFE. You can call Todd at the RWS Financial Group and schedule that, and the price is right. I mean, that's kind of a nice thing. Let's grab a phone call. Sue is in Saginaw. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. Sue's gone. Just a second that I brought Sue up, Sue disappeared. Sue. That was a good call. Okay, so end of the year. We've a couple weeks left. Let's go with 3 guidelines or 3 ideas that you would like, kind of in general, for people to research and consider before 12/31/21.
Well, one of the things that you can typically do towards the end of the year, it's a good time to look at your portfolio if you have a 401k or just investments outside of that, and look at rebalancing that portfolio, because everybody should be having some sort of risk profile. In other words, some people are really aggressive and they might want 90% of their money in stocks. Other people might be more conservative and want 40% in stocks. Well, as the year goes on, if you only want 40% in stocks, and the stocks have done really well as they have this year, now suddenly at the end of the year, you don't have 40% in stocks anymore. You've got 50% in stocks. So that's a good time to say, okay, now I want to rebalance this, get my portfolio back to where only 40% are in stock. In other words, sell some of those stocks that have done well, and then go ahead and, reallocate them back to the safer stuff. So rebalancing a portfolio is always a good thing to do towards the end of the year.
It's a little checkup to make sure you're in the right places.
Exactly, because your portfolio will change throughout the year depending on what's doing well and what's not doing well within your portfolio.
All right.
Another thing about has to do with taxes. Excuse me. People will consider, well, should I donate to an IRA? So obviously, if you donate to an IRA, a traditional IRA, that money will come off your income for the year. Therefore, it could lower your taxes, could even drop you into a lower tax bracket. Individuals that qualify can do $6,000 into an IRA, $7,000 if you're over 50. So in a sense, if you're over 50 and you want to say, boy, I'd like to cut my income a little bit and pay a little less tax, you can do that by contributing to a traditional IRA.
And I can also do that on behalf of one of my children, right? Or can parents do an IRA sort of contribution gift to their kids?
Well, the spousal one is the one that comes up most. So you do not even have to have, you don't have to have income as a spouse. As long as the other spouse has income, then the spouse can open an IRA. So if you have 2 people over 50, you could technically, and as long as one of them has enough income and has the $14,000 worth of income from the year, you could then put $14,000 in an IRA, therefore lowering your income by $14,000. Children can do IRAs as long as they have income. In other words, if a child has income, has wage income, not donations from family and all that, then they can do an IRA, but they have to have the income to do that.
As mom and dad, can we contribute to their IRA?
As long as they have income.
Okay, they have to have something there. Right. It's not like starting their piggy bank when they were 6.
No, they have to. Now you can be the ones who gives them the money to contribute as long as they have the income to cover it.
Sue's back. Let's try that phone call again. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show.
Hi. Thank you. It's so good to hear your voice. And Todd, it's Sue Smith. And by the way, Bill, you made the comment about snow. Please wait until after Wednesday because I'm ringing the bell outside from Wednesday 4 to 6, and I don't want to be freezing. Anyway, my question, we had, we got 401k, and I think a Roth. My husband does all that stuff. And we're the Dave Ramsey plan, we're debt free. So, and you know, my husband said one time, he goes, we just lost $15,000. I mean, it's not a huge 401k, but the investments and stuff, it's one of those things. I mean, should we expect it to bounce back, or, you know, is it a reason to panic, or did you change things then, or?
No, by the way, hi, Sue. Good to talk to you.
You too.
The market, if you're going to invest, okay, the market does not always go forward, even though, as I said, we're forward 8 of the last 10 years. It does not always go forward. It has certain times, certain things can freak the market out. Going back to March of 2020, in 3 weeks, the U.S. market dropped 30% and 32% in 3 weeks. Freaked a lot of people out, as you can imagine, and I understand that. But by the end of the year, not only did it recover that 32%, it added another 15 on top of it. So, you know, these ups and downs in the market, as long as you're well diversified, in other words, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, you're going to see these things happen. You didn't lose the money. You don't lose it until you lock in those losses by panicking and selling. That's when you lose. The market has always come back. From every time the market's gone down, it has come back and it's gone higher. That's why we're going to be looking at a a 40,000 point on the Dow sometime in the not distant future.
That's amazing.
You know, because every time it goes down, it comes back up.
Yeah.
If you're well diversified, and especially if you don't need the money right now, you don't like it, but you do nothing. You just say, look, this happens and it's going to come back, and it always has.
All right, Sue, thank you for the phone call. We have to take another break here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll continue with Todd Arner here as we roll along in the 9 o'clock hour on WSGW.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
You can tell it's fall, huh?
Yeah, cooler days.
And leaves changing color.
Kitchen's becoming beautiful.
Yeah, kitchen's become... Wait, what was that?
Well, fall's the perfect time to upgrade our kitchen.
What makes you say that?
Our kitchen and the Wilsons.
Theirs is pretty spectacular. Who'd they hire again?
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery.
Let Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center help you create the perfect space for your home, from imagination to completion. Go to premierkitchenandbathgallery.com to get started. Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom. Get inspired.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Back door wide open, it's Bloom. He scores!
That was a good play right there.
The Saginaw Spirit return to action this Friday night when they host the Windsor Spitfires at the Dow Event Center. Tune in for game time coverage beginning at 6:50 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. Plenty of seats are still available for this Friday and Saturday night's games. Visit SaginawSpirit.com for ticket information.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on WSGW.
We have just a moment or two left with our friend Todd Arner from RWS Financial Group talking about year-end financial management. So I don't want to let this opportunity get away from us. For people who have more questions, what would you have them do?
They can call me anytime at 989-401-5792. That's 401-5792, or todd.arner at rwsgroup.org.
For the last hour, the sizable number of people who have been watching this radio show on live stream have been staring directly at you. Do you have anything you'd like to say to those people who have started their day by looking directly at you?
I just wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2022.
Oh, I thought you were going to apologize. I can say that, folks. It's okay. We go way back. It's not like I'm mistreating a guest in here who's never going to come back.
That's
right.
True. And plus, we're older. We have thick skin,
Yes, the thin hair, thick skin.
That's right.
We're not wrapped in bubble wrap like most of the young kids these days. Well, it's fantastic to explore these important issues, these topics, because they do directly relate to your savings, your earnings, and by the way, also to your charitable giving. Just earlier this week, we had the wonderful time of the Sharing Hope Radiothon for Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, and many of you called and made a donation, and I have to think that in many cases those donations were made possible because you have wisely managed and stewarded your finances. So it's all connected. As Todd was walking us through some of the decisions and the different ups and downs of the market, it's all connected directly to your pocketbook and then how it flows from there. So glad we could have the discussion. We'll take one last break this hour, come back and wrap things up on the Art Lewis Show. Bill Hobson here, sitting in for Art.
Bonnie's Sewing Center in Bay City is having a huge holiday sale. From now until the end of the year, you can get the very best prices on everything. Janome, Baby Lock, and Husqvarna Viking. Not only is everything at the lowest price of the year, but it includes unlimited free one-on-one lessons for life. You can even sit and sew all day in their expanded classroom where expert staff is on hand to help. The service lasts forever, but the huge holiday sale is only until December 30th. So hurry in today to Bonnie's Sewing Center on Wilder Road, Bay City.
This is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Do you want to be a hero for the holidays? How about getting your loved one a new iPhone? That's right. Pure Talk has iPhone 12 starting at just $479 through the end of the year. And sure, they have 13s too. Switch to Pure Talk. Great nationwide 5G coverage. Yes, the same coverage as the big guys, but the average family saves over $800 a year. Now that's just smart. There's no need to overpay for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Plus, with Pure Talk's 30-day risk-free guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. And like I said, the iPhone 12, just $479. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill50, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Plus, save on a new phone. That's pound 250, say Jill50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
Wesley had IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Coming after my house, my car. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
Wesley called Optima Tax Relief.
Oh, they were great people. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, Mr. Arner, thank you for your expertise. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, it's always fun. Thanks so much. And like I said, I just hope everybody has a great finish to the year and a super 2022.
Yeah, and in the financial realm, my amateur bit of input to all of this would be, don't let it dominate your life.
No.
And don't live by the news headlines, because they are designed to scare you.
Exactly.
And they're not designed to have you be patient and look at long-term trends. They are designed to have you panic and dive for some remote or some mobile app that you can change everything, and it could be a disaster. So be calm, friends. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Merry Christmas also to you and Trish and to the family, and good stuff. We'll hopefully see you outside the studio in the near future.
Thanks, Bill.
I'll let you buy breakfast again anytime. We take a break here for the news at the top of the hour. The WSGW Studios catching you up on all that's happening in the Great Lakes Bay region. And then we're back with more of the Art Lewis Show after that.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The race is on to slow the spread of Omicron ahead of Christmas. The CDC is predicting 1.3 million new COVID cases by this time next week. Correspondent Meg Oliver.
In Wisconsin, just over 4% of ICU beds are available. And in Nebraska, frontline workers are overwhelmed.
I would just hope that no one else has to experience the things that we've been experiencing.
Meanwhile, signs that Omicron is quickly spreading from coast to coast. New York City is now reporting 8,300 new cases a day, leading to long lines at testing centers and pushing some companies like Citibank to tell employees to work from home.
Security's ramped up at some schools today over a viral TikTok challenge encouraging students to post violent threats. Some have canceled classes today. Others have imposed new restrictions. KHOU TV's Mia Gradney from Houston.
The problem is causing so much concern. Fort Bend ISD has decided to ask all middle and high school students to leave their backpacks at home out of an abundance of caution.
TikTok says it's working with law enforcement to investigate. The White House says Democrats still don't have enough Democratic support to pass the president's massive social spending plan, so they'll put off a vote until next week. Until the new year, that is. Correspondent Weijia Zhang.
It would lower prescription drug prices, expand health and childcare, and tackle climate change. But in a blow to Democrats yesterday, a Senate parliamentarian ruled that it could not include new immigration policies like work authorization and deportation protections. Now the path forward there will almost certainly require Republican support, which is unlikely.
Spokeswoman Jen Psaki says they are encouraged by talks with holdout Senator Joe Manchin. Candle factory employees in Mayfield, Kentucky, who survived this week's deadly tornado, have filed a lawsuit against the company for negligence. Among them, Elijah Johnson.
Man, you gonna refuse to let us leave, even if the weather's this bad and the tornado's not even here yet? So he was like, if you want to decide to leave, if you want to leave, you can leave, but you're gonna be terminated. You're gonna be fired.
At least 8 of his co-workers were killed. At least 74 people in Kentucky died. That number expected to rise as the search turns into a recovery mission. Tiger Woods plays his first competitive round of golf for this weekend since a car crash 10 months ago that almost cost him his leg. He'll have help at the PNC Championship from his 12-year-old son, who was all the talk of last year's tournament.
Charlie steps up for the Eagle. Look how proud Dad is.
This is CBS News.
With Indeed Instant Match, just sponsor a post and immediately receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Winter is the perfect time to spruce up your home with a fresh coat of paint from California Paint. This is Mike from Westside Decorating Center. Need to repaint your walls? What about your kitchen cabinets or your ceilings? California Paints has the highest quality paint on the market for every surface in your home. Stop in today and our paint experts will help with your project from start to finish. Westside Decorating Center is located at 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, or visit us at westsidedecoratingcenter.com.
1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. cancerscreenquiz.com.
Wesley had IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Coming after my house, my car. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
Wesley called Optima Tax Relief.
Oh, they were great people. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure, whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 31 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Ann Williams. At 1:36 this morning, Tri-Township firefighters responded to the 14,000 block of Ithaca Road for a barn fire with animals inside close to a house. Upon arrival, the barn was fully involved with structural collapse. Several dogs perished in the blaze. There was no damage to the house. The cause of that early morning fire has not been determined. There were no injuries to any residents or first responders. Tri-Township firefighters were assisted by a half dozen other fire departments, plus police, sheriff deputies, and St. Charles DPW. The Saginaw County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fatal crash. It was discovered about 8:15 Thursday morning, although it's believed to have happened about 8 Wednesday night. The Sheriff's Office says a 2003 Chevrolet Avalanche hit a tree, went over a guardrail, and into the Bad River. Deputies responding to the area of Brant and Rochals Roads in Brant Township found the vehicle fully submerged. The Saginaw County Dive Team and Mike's Wrecker pulled the vehicle from the water. The body of 41-year-old Todd Searles of Lakefield Township was found downstream. The cause of death is under investigation. The Saginaw County Sheriff's Office asks that anyone with information about the crash call their office. Tens of thousands of Consumers Energy customers are experiencing outages across Michigan after strong winds swept across the state Thursday. Consumer spokesperson Josh Pechorik says the utility is aware of the frigid temperatures expected in parts of the state today.
We see they're going to be falling. That's why it's important to begin restoration efforts as soon as we can so folks can heat their homes. We're looking at different assistance and community organizations, what we can do with them if we set up warming centers and things like that.
Based on initial damage assessments, Consumers expects to have all affected customers restored by the end of Saturday. WSGW News Time is 10:07.
Hi, this is Jessica. It's time to check out United Financial Credit Union and experience the credit union difference. From youth accounts to retirement accounts, we can help you with all of your financial needs. Here at United Financial Credit Union, we've been committed to our communities since 1964 and strive to provide long-term financial stability to our members and their families. Whether you need a loan or are looking for a safe place for your savings, you will always be treated as our top priority. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first.
Must meet eligibility requirements. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. A 59-year-old man from Clare is facing multiple charges after driving off during a traffic stop. State troopers from the Mount Pleasant Post pulled the suspect over about 11 p.m. October 21st, but he drove off after briefly speaking with them. After trying to locate the vehicle, troopers discovered it had been stolen from a home near Harrison. A joint investigation between Mount Pleasant State Police and the Clare County Sheriff's Office found the driver and had an outstanding warrant and a suspended driver's license. The Clare County Prosecutor's Office authorized a felony warrant for the suspect, and he was found at a Clare County home Wednesday along with the stolen vehicle. It was seized along with several guns, ammunition, body armor, and suspected methamphetamine. The suspect was in the Clare County Jail pending arraignment. At a news conference that took place in Detroit Thursday, Democrats wanted to talk about how the state will benefit with passage of the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan. They also wanted to encourage passage of President Biden's Build Back Better bill, which is still being debated in Washington. Among those who spoke was State Senator Stephanie Chang of Detroit, who calls those bills an important cornerstone for the current administration.
We're here talking about both the Build Back Better as well as the bipartisan infrastructure law. We really want to make sure that people understand that President Biden has delivered infrastructure results that we have been waiting for a long, long time.
A vote on the Build Back Better plan, however, does not look like it will happen until the new year as discussions continue on elements of the bill, including the child tax credit. 3 band directors for the Petoskey School District, Tom Harder, Patrick Ryan, and Dwayne Wilson, are now on administrative leave. School Superintendent Chris Parker says they've been placed on indefinite administrative leave and there's no timetable for their return. However, the band programs continue. No other details have been released. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom 752-0790. It's 10:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-30s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a chance for some snow showers here late with cloudy skies and a low near 31. By Saturday, a chance for snow showers here, cloudy sky conditions, high of 34. Then by Sunday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine, a high around 33 degrees. Monday, partial sunshine develops, a high around 40. Then by Tuesday, we'll see mostly sunny skies, high around 32. Wednesday, partial sunshine, high 35. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 33.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Welcome into the 10 o'clock hour of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. If you are just joining us today, I'm Bill Hobson sitting in for Art. And the plan is for Mr. Lewis to return on Monday as he recovers from a little traffic incident from a couple days ago. We wish him nothing but the best, and he'll be back behind the microphone. I was going to say in this chair, but I think Art is enjoying the home studio situation, the Saginaw Spirit Studio. And either way, we'll look forward to hearing him on Monday. And as we kind of roll into this 10 o'clock hour, we have a unique opportunity to introduce you to a new leader in our community. She is the new tribal chief of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe. Theresa Peters-Jackson joins us on WSGW. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing very well. I appreciate the opportunity, and I thank you for being invited to participate in your show.
Well, I think it's a point of information and education for much of our listening audience as to the role of the tribal chief at the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe, and maybe even sort of the path that you took in your personal life that led to this position. So when did the opportunity first arise for you to, it's an elected position. When did you first decide that that's something you wanted to pursue?
It was back in 2017. I was just leaving a casino job, and I was wondering what I was going to do. And I was looking through the tribal employment website, and my husband suggested to me, "Why don't you run for tribal council?" And I just chuckled at him, and I was thinking, I don't know, but I ended up turning in my nomination petition, and my first term on council was in 2017 in December.
And when you started to serve, how different was the experience of serving from what you thought it might be?
There was a lot of things that I was unaware of that happened, or not really happened in our tribe, but like processes and procedures and stuff. So it was an eye-opener to how things are ran, especially on the legislative end.
And I'm guessing there are a lot of layers to that side of life that many of us aren't aware of. So when you start to kind of get into the legislative side of governing with the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe, what are some of the bigger challenges that you face that you're dealing with now?
One of the bigger challenges is the off-reservation gaming and getting our iGaming and sports betting up and running.
Well, we're seeing that everywhere, right? You can't watch a ball game without. It used to, it's kind of interesting. And I want to make sure I'm addressing you properly with your title. Do I say Chief Peters Jackson?
Yes, that would be
all right.
Fine. Thank you.
Well, it's interesting. It used to be when you would watch a game of any level, most of the commercials would be the embarrassing kinds about certain medications. They would have the couple sitting in the hot tubs on top of a hill. Somehow they got a cast iron tub on top of a mountain, and you would hear about these different drugs that were available. And so those were awkward commercials. And now it's all switched. Every commercial in every sporting event seems to be about gaming and ways that you can participate in all of that. So how has that changed the world of the tribe, and how has that provided challenges for you as the tribal chief?
The iGaming, and we have to move forward with the times and with the younger crowd where technology is their world. And we need to move forward with that on our end and become more accessible to the gamers and to the new generation that's coming up by providing iGaming and sports betting online and making it more convenient for those who do not want to leave their homes with COVID at this time.
As you have seen that shift happening to online and on your mobile devices and all that sort of gaming, how has the revenue shifted versus in person in the casino there in Mount Pleasant?
Here in Mount Pleasant, we seem to be maintaining our brick and mortar side of gaming. However, I think we can be more revenue generating when we open our online gaming.
Do you have this is kind of hopefully not too awkward of a question, but is there such a thing as too much when it comes to the talk of and the advertising for gaming? I do know a lot of people who they say things like this, all we ever hear about, all we ever talk about. Is there a threshold where it could be a little too much?
Yes, I think so. I think we concentrate too much on gaming, and there's other humanitarian efforts that we should be including in our efforts.
Such as what?
such as education. We need to move forward with making sure our younger generation is well educated to move us into the future and be more competitive on a global standpoint. Our health and human services effort, making sure that we educate everybody on the vaccines, on global warming, and just different human aspects that we need to survive and move into the future.
Yeah, so the to-do list has a lot of items on it, right? For the tribal chief. How geography-wise, how widespread, how much territory does the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe represent?
Currently, our boundaries are 6 townships within Isabella County, and we also have a Saginaw reservation in Aroostook County. And at this time, I cannot tell you how many acres we have, just that we're within 6 townships.
Well, do you have an idea roughly how many people that represents?
In District 1, we have a little over 1,700 people. That would be our Isabella County. Our Saginaw reservation has 46 or 47. And then our at-large district has a little over 1,700 people. So
as you entered into your new post as the tribal chief just a week or so ago, I believe, have you found yourself then, making the rounds, going and introducing yourself to each of these communities and letting them know who you are and hearing from them what their concerns are?
Yes, we do that. We've been doing that along through Tim Davis's administration, our former tribal chief. We hold weekly council work sessions where each one of the council members have their time to present concerns and stuff they hear from different community members. As a tribal member, I do attend community events, and I like to communicate with our membership.
And your term in office is how long?
2 years.
Okay, so you got a lot of ground to cover in 2 years, right? Is there a term limit situation, or can you run for re-election?
No, there is no term limit. As a matter of fact, I believe my father-in-law was a tribal council member for 30-some years.
Oh, wow.
No term limit.
Very good. Well, it's one of those, it could be one of those situations where you have to be careful what you wish for, right? You ran for it, and you could end up with 30 years worth of work to do. You never know.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah. What makes you the most proud to be part of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe?
I am very proud of our people and their resilience. I'm proud of my dad. He was the late former Sub-Chief Julius Peters. He passed on during his last term in office, and he always believed in building our tribe, promoting it. And one thing he always told me is that when you're a tribal council member, every member is your family, to make sure to take care of them.
That's a pretty good sentiment. And at the same time, that's a pretty daunting thought, right? That's a lot of people in the family.
Yes, I have a large family.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on winning the election and the position of tribal chief. It's Theresa Peters-Jackson joining us here on WSGW. Have a wonderful holiday season, and hopefully you'll get a chance to get around and meet everybody in that expanded family that you just grew into.
Yes, and one other thing I'm also proud of is that we are the first all-female executive council in the history of the tribe, and I congratulate my co-council on that accomplishment, and I hope we can do really amazing things for our tribe. And happy holidays. And once again, thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you. It's good to meet you over the phone. Theresa Peters-Jackson, the new tribal chief of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe. We'll take a break here on the Art Lewis Show. We're going to come back and talk about Christmas traditions next, and we need your phone calls as well. We'll make sense out of all of that on the other side of this.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for 120 Fitness in Saginaw. You are going to get your monthly membership to 120 Fitness for only $16. It's usually $32, but you are getting yours half off. 120 Fitness offers 2 floors of top-of-the-line cardio equipment, a variety of strength training equipment, and fitness classes like yoga and Zumba. If you want to get in shape in a clean and comfortable environment, head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Have you recently tested positive for COVID-19? You may be eligible for monoclonal antibody therapy, a treatment which could reduce your risk of hospitalization and death. If you are in a high-risk group and have had symptoms for less than 10 days, talk to your healthcare provider about this no-cost treatment. To learn more about COVID-19 antibody therapy, go to michigan.gov/COVID therapy. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. Any moves on Wall Street today are likely to be exaggerated because of quadruple witching. That means options and futures are expiring. FedEx saw its business increase 14% in the recent quarter, though it paid more for its workforce. That was offset by higher shipping rates. Electric truck maker Rivian reported a disappointing quarter. It lost more money than expected, though it did reveal plans for a new plant in Georgia. And Olive Garden's parent company, Darden Restaurants, says its CEO Eugene Lee will retire in May, but will stay on as chairman. Darden reported upbeat sales in the recent quarter, but Wall Street was hoping for a stronger forecast from the restaurant company. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
When Natalie was diagnosed with cancer, she took control of her health. When Natalie wanted to help other people with cancer, she became a doctor. When Natalie wanted to make quality care affordable, she became a researcher. When Natalie's patients needed innovative treatments, she found them. Conquer Cancer supports researchers like Dr. Natalie McKenzie, so we can conquer every cancer for every patient, everywhere. Cancer research saves lives. Learn more and donate at conquer.org. That's conquer.org.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Chad Stewart of the DNR talks about our Michigan deer herd. Plus, Ed Roy from the Michigan Wildlife Council. In hour number 2, retired DNR biologist John Azoga talks about why he thinks we are mismanaging our whitetail herd. And in hour number 3, Dave Rose of Wild Fishing. Listen Sunday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we continue on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Bill Hobson in for Art. Here we are 1 week away from Christmas Eve, and it got me thinking about Christmas traditions, what they were and what they've become. And I'm curious to know, what aspects of this season do you wish were still part of this season? Some traditions perhaps that you and your family developed over the years, and maybe they've gone by the wayside, perhaps because of technology, perhaps because of people growing up and moving on in life, and you just can't do the same things anymore. But when you think about traditional Christmas, what do you think of? Our numbers are 989-752-6111. 989-752-6111. Or 866-790-WSGW. I was, I'll share with you a couple of my thoughts on the subject. Of course, some of the great traditions that I do miss have to do with things we would kind of take in as a family. Watching Charlie Brown Christmas, for instance. And it was on either CBS or ABC for forever. And then for reasons that continue to baffle me, they moved over to Apple TV, where a fraction of the population can see them now. And I'm not sure why that is. But I always love the Charlie Brown Christmas, especially when Linus steps into the center stage at the big play and reads or recites the core passage of Scripture of the story of Christmas. Just that's tradition, right? Some of those things, some of you have great traditions about shopping, and you would go to the mall and you would see the mall Santa. Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not really sure that's happening, especially in these last couple of years of pandemic time. Are there still mall Santas? Has anybody seen a mall Santa anywhere? Give me a call. Let us know where and how that was. I have some friends who made a annual pilgrimage out of shopping at old Hudson stores, and especially down in Detroit. Those stores don't exist anymore. Just so many different changes. Now, some of those changes I think are for the better, because I never really enjoyed going shopping. So now the opportunity to do that from the comfort of my tablet, I actually kind of like quite a bit. It's also interesting how we used to handle Christmas wish lists. So you would carve something out in writing on a piece of notebook paper. You would scratch out what you wanted for Christmas and make sure that it got to mom and dad, or perhaps grandma and grandpa. And then you would kind of hope that they would end up with the right item. And now we've been on the receiving end of Christmas wish registries, where our little niece over in Kalamazoo literally goes onto Amazon and creates her own wish list and then just sends you the link. Now, from a convenient standpoint, hey, I'm all for it. Sign me up. It's all fun. It's all good. But from that traditional feel, that's not the same thing. I'm wondering what in your mind triggers when you think about traditional Christmas celebration, and those things that make it extra special for you. 989-752-6111 and 866-790-WSGW. Bill is in Cass City joining us here on the Art Lewis Show. Hi, Bill.
Good morning.
What's traditional Christmas mean to you? What are you missing?
Well, I'm a little bit older than you guys, because I've come from a generation before television.
Yeah.
And we had family over. I mean, aunts, uncles, grandparents. It was a family get-together. And it was just fun. I mean, you didn't have a lot, but you shared what you had. And we don't do this anymore. Again, it's too commercial. I'll bet you that there isn't, if you went out at random and went wherever you want to go and talk to 10 people, they couldn't even tell you what Christmas is.
Well, I thought about that very thing, Bill, recently when there was a story about how the troubles with the supply chain were threatening to ruin Christmas. And I thought, how pathetic, how sad that we would define Christmas by whether or not we could get goods on the shelves of stores so that we could buy the right doll or the right toy, because that's not what it's all about. And I know that for little kids, in large part, that is what it's all about. But I'm kind of with you on that, where it really should center more around the relationships and the memories than the stuff.
Well, it's you came into the house, and I could tell you what we were going to have before we had it because you had smells. You went in and you smelled the sage from the turkey. You smelled the glaze on the ham, whatever it was. And everybody brought a dish to pass, and we always had to, that's why I'm as big as I am. I always had to try everybody's pie just to make sure that we got the right slice.
Was there a kids' table?
Oh, yes, there was. And you knew that you would go places you didn't want to be if you went to the big table.
I remember sitting at the kids' table at Grandma's house, and somebody said, pass the butter. And the butter got passed, but it fell off the dish. And, it was hilarious. It's like the butter flew across the room. They were like, pass the butter. And how much scolding we all got for wasting a stick of butter. Because, as you know, butter's super expensive. But, yes, it was one of those memories that us as cousins always remember.
Well, it was something when I came home from Vietnam, I was literally treated as I'm something different than I was when I went. Well, maybe I did change, but that's not Christmas. I made it home fine. Let's get on with it, and let's pass the potatoes or whatever it is. Quit fooling around because I'm not something I'm not. I've just, and it changed in that time. Like, well, look what you've done and all this. And looking back now, I'm going to be 75 shortly. Really? This is not good.
What will this Christmas be like for you, Bill?
Well, I'm old and crotchety, and all my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren call me Walter from the Jeff Dunham little Muppet character.
Oh, that's great.
The old Vietnam vet that grumbles.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell them, take a number, shut up, and sit down, and I'll figure out something to complain about.
Happy holidays.
They'll sit there and say, oh, Papa, you're crazy. But no, it's just family getting together, and people don't want to do that anymore.
Will your family be together?
Well, I have one son that lives out of state. No, he won't be up. But the kids here, we'll be around. But it's I like to see them all around the table at once, and then send them home because they're driving me nuts.
Right.
But they just don't do this anymore. I mean, sugar cookies were really great. We had a family member just making cookies, and I texted him and said, I like cookies.
Subtle hint.
Well, yeah, it was subtle, Yeah. Then they sat there and they said, well, you gained 2 pounds, didn't you? No, closer to 3, but shut up and bring the sugar cookies.
I love it.
It was a simple time. I mean, it just was. Sugar cookies was a treat.
Right. Well,
now you go to the bakery and spend $100.
Well, there are some advancements that are for the better, and there are some that kind of make us wish that they had never come along. And but I'm glad you called, Bill. Thank you so much for chiming in on your Christmas traditions. Let's go talk to Janet in Saginaw. Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good. It's sunny out.
It's sunny and chilly today, unlike yesterday when it was sunny in North Carolina like.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's sunny, I'm okay.
Good.
But I'm going to take you back a few years.
All right.
When Saginaw had Weekmans and Seitners and Jacobsons, Morleys, I loved to go downtown at night with my family, and we'd look at the windows that they all had themes like penguins or something, and they were all lit up on top and bottom. And you don't see that anymore. It's like New York, but it was in Saginaw.
Yeah, you see it in Frankenmuth, of course.
Oh, do you?
Not many other places, but Frankenmuth is as decked out as it could ever be. We were just there a couple nights ago, and there's a reason that it's so crowded, and that's because people long for that feeling of being back home and being able to walk down a downtown stretch and do some shopping.
Right. Yeah, I miss that.
For all the benefits of the big box stores that, you can go into the same store and buy a battery for your car or a dozen eggs, and we like to have that versatility in a store. It does lack, that hometown touch.
It's just not the same.
What is the smell of Christmas to you, Janet?
Oh, boy. My grandmother was from Germany, and she used to make these Springling, I think I'm pronouncing it probably wrong, cookies that they were hard as rocks. You'd break your teeth on them. I don't think they were supposed to be hard like that, but she would say that they were supposed to be. And that smell comes to mind. And also sugar cookies.
That's 2 votes for sugar cookies so far today.
Yeah.
Now you're making me kind of hungry. If you happen to have some sugar cookies and some very, very cold milk, I would sign up for that class.
I've got Oreos and cold milk.
Yeah, I'm always pro Oreo, but they're never homemade, of course. And so Christmas time, you kind of want that, you want that touch, that personal touch. Now, for me, the sugar cookie is going to have a good amount of frosting on it. But what I don't want on it, my mom and my grandma used to do this forever. There used to be some decorations you would put on cookies, like little BBs and things that were edible, but I hated them. They would hurt your teeth. It was like an actual BB.
About. Yep.
Why?
Yep. My grandma used to put those on too, and they were always in animal shapes.
Yeah, I don't want my Christmas snack to have the potential to cause dental damage. It's not asking for too much, right?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, Janet, let me ask you the same question I asked Bill a moment ago. What will Christmas be like for you this year?
Oh, boy. I don't have much family left, and I don't have a TV. I'll probably be listening to you guys.
And will you gather at a church for Christmas Eve, or will you have any other connection?
It's going to be a pretty lonely Christmas.
Okay.
That's why I appreciate your station so much.
Well, we're glad to have you listening. And by the way, for what it's worth, on Christmas Eve, if you feel so inclined and you're able to go online, you can enjoy the streaming presentation of the Christmas Eve services at Hopevale. That's my church, and I know we're streaming, and it's a very special time as well. So we don't want you to feel alone, that's for sure.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, Janet, thank you for the phone call. Have a wonderful day and a great Christmas. We'll take a break, come back and take more of your calls at 752-6111 and 866-790 WSGW as we talk about great Christmas traditions here on the Art Lewis Show.
You can tell it's fall, huh?
Yeah, cooler days.
And leaves changing color.
Kitchen's becoming beautiful.
Yeah, kitchen's become... Wait, what was that?
Well, fall's the perfect time to upgrade our kitchen.
What makes you say that?
Our kitchen and the Wilsons.
Theirs is pretty spectacular. Who'd they hire again?
Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery.
Let Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center help you create the perfect space for your home, from imagination to completion. Go to premierkitchenandbathgallery.com to get started. Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom. Get inspired.
Bonnie Sewing Center is having a huge inventory reduction sale. While supplies last, get the best prices on everything Janome, Baby Lock, and Husqvarna Viking, including rock bottom pricing on long arm quilt frames, top of the line embroidery machines, sergers, and more. And extra accessories with every purchase like workbooks, rolling cases, and additional pressure feet, including unlimited free one-on-one lessons, which are around your schedule and never expire. It's all free. When purchasing a machine, at Bonnie's, the area's largest selection of sewing, quilting, and embroidery machines. Sale is on while supplies last. Hurry in now to Bonnie's Sewing Center on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give yourself a bright future for 2022 and beyond by choosing a top-rated Medicare Advantage plan. Blue Cross PPO received a 4.5 out of 5-star rating, and Blue Care Network HMO received 5 stars, Medicare's highest star rating. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Star ratings are calculated each year and may change from one year to the next. Medicare Plus Blue and BCN Advantage are PPO, HMO POS, and HMO plans with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Medicare Plus Blue and BCN Advantage depends on contract renewal.
Give the gift they want this year, a new iPhone 12 from Pure Talk for just $479. Pure Talk gives you great prices and great 5G coverage with unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. The average family saves over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill 50, and you'll save 50% off your first month and save on a new iPhone. Dial pound 250 and say Jill 50. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
At CDW, we get new work environments can bring new distractions.
My kitchen is my new office. It's also home to our new family smoothie machine.
While CDW experts can pre-configure Dell Latitude 9000 series laptops with built-in AI that learns how users work to minimize disruptions and help you and your organization stay productive. Ooh, even when life gets messy.
I'll get the hose.
For technology that helps you adapt, trust Dell Technologies and IT Orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Christmas music in the air, 1 week away from Christmas Eve. We're talking Christmas traditions. Bill Hobson here sitting in for Art Lewis. And by the way, the Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your residential and commercial realty needs, call Pinnacle Realty at 989-295-3900. I'll share one more of my great Christmas traditions with you all. It's one that continues to this day, and next Friday and Saturday we'll actually relive this again. I'm very blessed. Both of my parents are still with us. They are over on the west side of the state, and we will go there and we will have a wonderful meal as part of our Christmas tradition. And it's a pretty specialized meal. It's got lots of good things to it, and we will enjoy once again the tradition of having my dad constantly remind us how much he paid for that steak. It's one of my favorite aspects of Christmas, and we all know it's coming because it will be declared as the best there is. And we're not going to argue. We're just going to be grateful for it and get a good chuckle out of it because we already know it's coming. That's one of our traditions that's been around forever. Al in Midland, let's talk Christmas traditions. How are you, Al?
Oh, just fine there, Bill. Hey, that sounds like a very wonderful tradition, Bill.
It is. How about in your world?
One of the things that I like around Christmas, Christmas Kringle. There's a couple of the real stuff, the original stuff. I don't know where its history is, but there's two places in Wisconsin that make some really good Kringle. Benson's is one of them, and I forget what the other one is. And they'll mail order. They'll ship it.
What is it?
It looks like an oval-shaped flattened donut with. It's got a whole bunch of sugar glaze on it, and some of them have a fruit filling like a raspberry. It's hard to explain. If you do a Google search or do a search engine search on Christmas Kringle, you'll come up with businesses that'll be willing to sell it to you. And once you get a taste of it, you're going to have it every year.
All right, I like that. This is a
great stuff. It's
very
sweet.
Promising idea.
The fellow that likes the sugar cookies, this stuff is great. A little fattening, but hey, he'll replace the sugar cookies really fast.
Al, is there a tradition that you kind of miss about Christmas?
Yeah, getting around with family. I don't think we're going to do it this year. Mother's in kind of the shape where she can't do a whole bunch of things anymore, and it's hard to get her out and go places.
Yeah.
And with COVID, we're not going to take a chance on it. She's in a state where her health is compromised to some extent, and we're all just going to kind of hunker down. I think we're going to listen to the Christmas specials. I might partake in your Faith Lutheran worship thing, if that's what I remembered hearing.
There are probably a number of churches that will be streaming their services. I happen to go to Hopevale Church, and on Christmas Eve at 5 p.m. online, just right at the Hopevale website, you'll be able to see it, and also on the Facebook page and YouTube, and it will be the entire service. And I can promise you it'll be special.
Good plan, and 5 o'clock is nice and early in the evening, so if I'm a little tired, it ends soon enough to doze off with a cocoa or something like that.
Well, you got to have some Kringle, don't you, at this point?
Yeah, well, it's a little late to get it shipped right now, but there aren't many places that make it local.
Listen, somebody in Midland who's listening to this right now, whip up the Kringle factory and get the word out. You call here, let us know you've got Kringle ready, and we'll let Al know.
About that, because they make pasties in town now, and that's enough for Peninsula.
Al, this is America. We put men on the moon. We've got iPhones. We can get Kringle. Yeah. Right, that's got to happen. Hey, thank you for the call, and have a wonderful Christmas, Al. Appreciate it. Let's talk to Yvonne. It says Yvonne is up north. That's all it says. Hi, Yvonne.
No, I'm not up north. I'm driving up north to my son's.
Oh, well,
my Christmases are kind of split. My husband's deceased, and so I spend one weekend with my son at his place at Higgins Lake and his family, and then on Christmas Day I have the rest of the family for dinner, traditional. But what I wanted to tell you is about my Christmas when I was a girl.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm an older lady, and I was in the 40s. Okay, the big thing for us kids, we didn't have a lot of money, but we did the best we could. Mother would always make popcorn balls. It was a tradition that we did. It was a mess, and we loved it. We would laugh, and it was a good time because we had the old kind of stove that was stoked with wood in the kitchen and the whole business. But it was just a very, very nostalgic time. We just had a good time. Not much in presents, no, but that wasn't what it was about to us. We went to Christmas Eve Mass, and Christmas Day, Mom always managed to put a nice feast on the table, and maybe we got one thing, something. Well, I remember I was talking to my sister the other day, and I said, do you remember when we thought it was a big deal to buy those lifesavers in the book and cut them in half and share the halves of books with each other? She said, yeah, I haven't thought about that in years. Those were things that didn't cost a lot because there wasn't a lot of money back in the early 40s, but it was fun, and I missed that. And I live in Vassar, and one of the things I miss in Vassar is they used to string, in It's a Great Life, how they string the lights across in the movie where he's running down the street and saying, hello, Bedford Falls.
Yeah.
Vassar used to look like that. He used to string the lights across, and Bill Bookman used to bake in the bakery, and the whole town smelled like all kinds of goodies, and all the windows were decorated, and it was a wonderful time. I enjoyed my childhood with that.
You paint a wonderful picture, and I do miss some of the decorations that we've become accustomed to over the years, especially in smaller towns where the downtown used to be vibrant and you could have that sort of a feel to it. I really appreciate that, Yvonne. Have a wonderful Christmas and a safe trip to go see your son. We'll take a break and come back to talk with Tom and a couple other calls as we talk great Christmas traditions in your world here on the Art Lewis Show.
Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. The beauty of the Christmas season is that it can remind us all of the beauty in life that we take for granted, our family, our friends, and our faith. And this is a perfect time to remind all of our customers how much we appreciate your business during the year. And I'd like to take this moment to wish you a wonderful season filled with the people and traditions that mean the most. So from our family to yours, may you be blessed with the most important gift this Christmas, the love of our Lord Jesus Christ. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Your Saginaw Spirit are back on home ice this weekend at the Dow. The Spirit will battle Western Conference rivals the Windsor Spitfires Friday night. Puck drop 7:05 at the Dow. Downtown Saginaw will be rocking, so don't miss the action at the Dow with your Saginaw Spirit. Great seats are still available at the Dow box office or by calling 989-497-7747. Or you can get them online at saginawspirit.com.
and sponsored by Open Jar Concepts. Attention, this is an important message for anyone that has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers. The Internal Agency for Research on Cancer warned that overexposure to Roundup and other weed killers may increase the risk of developing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto, the manufacturer of Roundup, may have known that Roundup and other weed killers were likely linked to organ damage and cancer. This information was hidden from the public as proprietary trade secret since 1981, and Monsanto may have failed to warn of the potential risk of cancer. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call us now at 800-537-2701. Our network of attorneys are ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call now for a free consultation at 800-537-2701. You must protect your legal rights. Call 800-537-2701. Again, 800-537-2701.
This is Kareem Bowen, host United Shades of Gray, Conversations of Race in America. This week we will have Latoya Williams, and she is a COVID nurse, and she's going to share the impact of COVID on our healthcare professionals. Tune in.
United Shades of Gray, Sunday evenings at 7 on WSGW.
We're talking Christmas traditions here on the Art Lewis Show. Let's check in with Tom up next. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to the program. What comes to mind when we think about Christmas traditions?
Well, years ago, it was, I had one set of grandparents. My father's side, they passed away early. So my mother's side, it was getting together with them, and they were pretty much first generation American-born Polish people. So being 100% Polish, it was the Polish food, get together on Christmas Eve. And to this day, my parents have passed away now. We get together, my brothers and families, and we still do the Polish food, Polish traditions. Try to keep that going. We make our own Polish sausage.
I was just going to ask you, what would be the main entree in a Polish Christmas tradition?
Well, we have Polish sausage. We make that. We make pierogies. My one brother used to have I know a lot of people think it's pretty gross, would be what they call kachanina, which was the duck soup. But, we no longer do that. He's since passed away, but we try to make as much Polish food as we can. Ham. And then, we have a good time getting together. And but now talking about Kringles, my oldest son lives in De Pere, Wisconsin, just on the south side of Green Bay. And there is Uncle Mike's Bakery, and they have won world awards for their Kringles. And our favorite one is the salted caramel.
How have I missed out on the Kringle experience over all these? I pride myself on knowing what food is. I've never had this Kringle.
Oh, it was surprising to me too, because my son, he's just maybe 1 mile from the place. And the first time we went out there and we had a Kringle, when we walked into the bakery, this is pre-COVID, they actually have samples of pretty much every Kringle that they make there. And you can actually grab a cup of coffee and get enough samples to fill yourself up at the store.
Now, Tom, you can't be taking the cheapskate route out living off samples. That's my role.
Every time we go out there, we come back with one or two. I know our pastor now, we're over at Faith Baptist, not too far from where you're at there. And I bring our pastor, he likes the cherry one. They have the Door County cherries. But Uncle Mike's, they send it out. You can get one, get online, and theirs is absolutely delicious.
Well, it sounds great. Hey, thank you so much, and we wish you nothing but a Merry Christmas, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy that tradition as well.
We'll be out there right after Christmas. All right, have a good Christmas.
Thank you, Tom. We'll take a final break here and wrap things up in the 10 o'clock hour with a special Christmas moment here after this.
The Ymca of Saginaw is where Michael discovered he still has game and rediscovered his passion for volunteerism. It's also where he reconnected with old friends, made new ones, and trained for his first 5K run. The Y is a vital part in your quest to connect and build a stronger spirit, mind, and body. This season, the YMCA is transforming lives. Join the Saginaw YMCA today, and new members experience no membership dues till January. Stay a year, and they'll reward you with 3 free months. The Y, forever here for you.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for 120 Fitness in Saginaw. You are going to get your monthly membership to 120 Fitness for only $16. It's usually $32, but you are getting yours half off. 120 Fitness offers 2 floors of top-of-the-line cardio equipment, a variety of strength training equipment, and fitness classes like yoga and Zumba. If you want to get in shape in a clean and comfortable environment, head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Tried Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema? It works at and below the skin surface and can be used on almost everybody, like on the dimples of a diva. Yeah, roll your boat. Yeah, roll your boat. Or the shoulders of a chef. Look, Mom, I made jelly beans on toast. Steroid-free Eucrisa works at and below the skin surface. It blocks PDE4 enzymes, which is believed to reduce inflammation, even on the wrist of a rebel.
What did you do to your hair?
What?
The specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Prescription Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema is for topical use only in ages 3 months and up. Do not use if you are allergic to Eucrisa, crisaborole ointment 2%, or its ingredients. Allergic reactions, including hives, itching, swelling, and redness, may occur at or near the application site. The most common side effect is application site pain, such as burning or stinging.
Come on, moms and dads. Check out Eucrisa.com and ask your doctor about Eucrisa. Can I sing one more song?
Well, I told you at the beginning of the conversation about Christmas traditions that one of my favorites is every year being able to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas, and how disappointing it is that it disappeared onto Apple TV. That special moment near the end where Linus steps into the center of the stage and he reads, "And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over the flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people.'" And it was just pointed out to me a couple of weeks ago that in the Charles Schultz presentation, when Linus says, "Do not be afraid," his security blanket, Linus's blanket, the blue blanket, falls to the ground. I never realized that until somebody pointed it out to me, because this is the ultimate security that we can have, knowing that a Savior is born. We don't have to be afraid. I love it. I love it. I love it. Time for the news. Then focus.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. Need a COVID test? Get in line. That's the story in some places like New York City.
I was surprised there was this line here today. I decided I'd stick it out.
And with the Omicron variant sending case numbers higher, CBS's Weijia Jiang says the White House is fighting for its federal vaccine mandate for healthcare workers.
The Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow the mandate to go into effect, saying that it is urgently needed health and safety measure to take effect before the winter spike in COVID-19 cases worsens even further.
The CDC is no longer recommending people get the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine because of its link to rare blood clots. Infectious disease specialist Stanley Perlman at the University of Iowa.
There are certainly situations where the J&J vaccine will be useful, which is why it wasn't taken off the market. It was just recommended that mRNA vaccines be received.
Russia's foreign ministry says it wants the U.S. and NATO to agree to a string of new security demands designed to keep Ukraine out of the alliance and roll back influence in Central and Eastern Europe. Reporter Felix Light is in Moscow.
Russia has made public a list of sweeping demands to limit NATO's role in Eastern Europe. The Kremlin wants guarantees that NATO will not expand further eastwards, and a ban on troop movements in the alliance's own Eastern European member states like Poland. The White House said it has seen the proposals and is consulting with European allies.
A Russian official says relations with the U.S. and NATO are at a dangerous point. More rain expected today and tomorrow in parts of Kentucky that were rocked by deadly tornadoes. The power is still out to tens of thousands in several states after this week's Midwest windstorms. Some schools have taken action today after troubling internet buzz.
The threats being made on TikTok are certainly concerning.
Students saying that they might bring guns to school, that there might be bombs at school.
California School Superintendent Tony Thurmond says most of the threats are hoaxes, but he encourages students and school staff to be vigilant.
If you see even the smallest thing, let your school community know. And if you're a school leader, let your local law enforcement know. Let's all play it safe.
TikTok says there is no evidence of these school threats on its platform. Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
The resurgent coronavirus may be no match for Spider-Man.
Do you want to play games?
Catch! AMC says the opening last night for Spider-Man No Way Home was the best for a December release in the U.S., with more than 1 million people venturing out to theaters to see it. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 318 points. The NASDAQ is up 53. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. The beauty of the Christmas season is that it can remind us all of the beauty in life that we take for granted, our family, our friends, and our faith. And this is a perfect time to remind all of our customers how much we appreciate your business during the year. And I'd like to take this moment to wish you a wonderful season filled with the people and traditions that mean the most. So from our family to yours, may you be blessed with the most important gift this Christmas, the love of our Lord Jesus Christ. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth will help you bring it all together.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for 120 Fitness in Saginaw. You are going to get your monthly membership to 120 Fitness for only $16. It's usually $32, but you are getting yours half off. 120 Fitness offers 2 floors of top-of-the-line cardio equipment, a variety of strength training equipment, and fitness classes like yoga and Zumba. If you want to get in shape in a clean and comfortable environment, head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Service. It's hard to find these days. Well, the folks at M&R Garage Door have built their business on it. In fact, it's fair to say that service is their specialty. M&R Garage Door has earned the right to say that by taking care of their customers in the Tri-Cities for over 50 years. M&R Garage Doors has doors for every style and every budget. This Christmas, give the gift they can open every day of the year. Call M&R at 894-0971 for all of your garage door and opener needs. Remember, M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 31 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. Fierce winds have knocked out power for more than 150,000 customers in Michigan. A school in Muskegon County lost its roof and dozens of cows died at a dairy farm Thursday. Tim Butler was emotional as he described how his workers survived after a power pole landed on the milking barn in Owego County. Butler says it's a miracle that his workers escaped. Wind gusts exceeded 60 miles per hour in western and northern Michigan. The roof at Edgewood Elementary School was shredded, though no students were present at the time. Consumers Energy is reporting power outages across its western and northern service territory. High schools in the Upper Peninsula canceled school basketball games as rain turned to blowing snow. The Bay City Board of Education has approved a plan to redesign teaching and learning at Handy Middle School in partnership with New Tech Network. Starting with 6th graders next fall, New Tech Network will work with classroom teachers and school leaders to implement school change through professional development, coaching, and extensive resources to support project-based learning. District officials began discussing changes at the middle school last May when considering the impact of COVID-19 on students. A task force was formed in September to look at academic progress and find ways to innovate. District and school leaders will begin planning with support from New Tech Network in January. Changes that impact students and families will be communicated through meetings in the spring. The city of Midland has named a new fire chief. Assistant Chief Joshua Mosher has been promoted to chief effective January 1st. He succeeds Chief Chris Coughlin, who's retiring at the end of the month. Mosher joined the fire department as fire marshal in 2012 and was promoted to his current role, Assistant Fire Chief of Training and Safety, in 2017. Mosher was named Fire Inspector of the Year by the Michigan Fire Inspectors Society in 2015, Saginaw Township Fire Department's Firefighter of the Year in 2011, and Thomas Township's Fire Department's Firefighter of the Year in 2002. He also received the American Red Cross Celebration of Everyday Heroes Firefighter Award in 2003. Mosher has an associate's degree in fire science from Delta College and a bachelor's degree in business administration from Northwood University, along with many certifications, including as a state fire inspector and emergency medical technician. WSGW News Time is coming up on 11:08.
Planning your home improvement projects for 2022? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been helping their Great Lakes Bay region clients for 64 years with large projects, like remodeling a kitchen or bathroom, replacing a furnace or boiler, and installing central air. Maybe your project is smaller, like a water heater or sump pump replacement, updating a kitchen faucet and garbage disposal. No project is too big or too small. Start by visiting the showroom, where you will find products to fit your budget, design idea, and mechanical need. Reamer is proud to carry American-made products like Bradford white water heaters, American Standard heating and cooling equipment, Birch custom cabinets, and Cambria quartz. When you work with Reamer, you'll get expert knowledge and advice. Installation is completed by state licensed installers. So start your new year home improvement project with a visit to Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Call 989-792-8738 or visit reamerplumbing.com.
WSGW News Time is 11:09. The NAACP Saginaw branch is hosting a Protect the Vote rally Sunday. It starts at 3 p.m. at Christ Community Church at 3302 Grant Street in Saginaw. Organizers plan to address the Secure My Vote petitions currently circulating, which they believe are aimed at suppressing and disenfranchising voting rights for some citizens. The Saginaw NAACP is advising people not to sign the petition, since the proposals it outlines won't be going on the ballot but can become law with a small percentage of citizen signatures. The public is invited to the rally. It's what health officials have been fearing. Metro Detroit has its first case of the Omicron variant. Here's more from Dr. Deanna Lights.
A Washtenaw County resident has been identified as having the Omicron variant. Susan Ringler-Cerniglia is with the Washtenaw County Health Department.
This person was tested positive last week, and they're currently in isolation. So we'll be doing some additional investigation with this person's contact to see if anyone else has become ill and if that is also Omicron.
Omicron's been detected in Kent and Genesee counties. Health experts urge residents to get the COVID-19 vaccine and booster if eligible, along with avoiding large crowds and wearing masks when inside public settings.
That was Dr. Deanna Lights. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom, 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-30s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a chance for some snow showers here late with cloudy skies and a low near 31. By Saturday, a chance for snow showers here, cloudy sky conditions, high of 34. Then by Sunday, plenty of blue skies and sunshine, a high around 33 degrees. Monday, partial sunshine develops, a high around 40. Then by Tuesday, we'll see mostly sunny skies, high around 32. Wednesday, partial sunshine, high 35. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 37.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Well, we welcome you into the Focus Show. Bill Hobson here, sitting in for Art Lewis. And our topic during Focus, well, we have a scheduled topic, and then we have the standby topic. Because our scheduled guest is nowhere to be found right now. And we will see if that development changes here in the next few moments. And so until that happens, I'd kind of like to continue the conversation we were having in the 10 o'clock hour about your favorite Christmas traditions. So many good calls and so many people sharing the family gatherings, the special smells, the culinary delights, the just the things that you kind of wish were still around, but you know, it's hard to recreate those things. And in several instances, our callers talked about how their downtown areas, their favorite area, you know, Vassar or up north in different places, they used to be decorated differently than they are now. And I don't know, let's take some more of your calls on your favorite Christmas traditions, those that you both remember and that maybe you wish were still around. 989-752-6111 or 866-790-WSGW, your favorite Christmas traditions. I mentioned to one of our callers that I was in Frankenmuth just a few nights ago. Every year I try to have a nice Christmas dinner with the crew that produces my television program, Michigan Golf Live. And so we went to Zender's, and I really think the best time to visit Frankenmuth at this season is after dark, because the lights are just spectacular. I mean, kudos to everybody in Frankenmuth. They do it up right. And I know there are other areas as well, but I was most recently in Frankenmuth, and it's just beautiful all the way down through Main Street and looking out over the river, and remembering that just last year we weren't gathering. You know, Frankenmuth was a ghost town for the most part last year. Shutdowns and lockdowns and restrictions, and everybody was running with their they were running in fear, frankly. And thankfully, life is returning, and Frankenmuth was lively. It was bustling. Zender's was packed, and the spirit of Christmas was in the air from a gathering standpoint and a celebration standpoint. And one of the things that I enjoy about this time of year is I love the lights. I like the festivities. And I definitely enjoy those gatherings that also focus on the actual reason for the season. And I want to remind you all that when you hear more stories on the news about how the supply chain is threatening to ruin Christmas, I hope you will turn that off. I hope you will change whatever the outlet is that you're watching if they're going to lead with that kind of garbage, because this is not a season about the stuff. So if you can't buy the toy, make a memory. If you can't get the game, create a game. And you'll notice that everybody we talked to in the prior hour, all of their memories tied into the people they were with, the fun that they had, and not the presents that they received. Because that's really not what the memories are made of. Mike is in Shields, joining us here on WSGW. Hi there, Mike.
Hi. First off, I'd like to wish my season's greetings to you, but also to Art.
Yes.
Hope he recovers soon. And too bad about that. And I hope he didn't hurt the car too bad. Well, he's a tough little bird.
He is.
Don't have to worry about him.
He is.
But, yeah, my Christmases were... always family get together. My grandma and grandpa, and then my mom and dad, and my wife's mom and dad, and the family, and brothers and sisters and stuff. And Polish traditional dinner. Eat so much you couldn't even move after it. But that's what we had. And, of course, it was baking and, homemade coffee cake for breakfast and kielbasa Polish sausage, and things like that. And I like that, but I don't have any family anymore. Well, I got a couple sisters down in Florida, which I'm going to go down to visit in the springtime. And but it's a lot different now.
Yeah,
everybody's gone.
How will you spend this Christmas?
Well, it's just my oldest son, so I'll probably make something for dinner. I'd like to kind of get a smoked turkey, but I don't know if there's any around yet.
Yeah.
And but we just we have a few gifts, but not a whole lot anymore. I'm 81 and he's 60. Well, he's 56.
Yeah.
So it's like but we don't do much. I like the music. I especially like your station because you play the Christmas music that time of year. And
well, Mike,
and we go to mass.
Good.
We go to mass on Christmas morning and or Eve. We go. But, so
very good. Well, hey, I appreciate your phone call, and we wish you a wonderful Christmas. Thanks so much. And again, the phone number is 989-752-6111 or 866-790. WSGW will continue with your calls on Christmas traditions here on Focus after this.
Bonnie's Sewing Center in Bay City is having a huge holiday sale. From now until the end of the year, you can get the very best prices on everything. Janome, Baby Lock, and Husqvarna Viking. Not only is everything at the lowest price of the year, but it includes unlimited free one-on-one lessons for life. You can even sit and sew all day in their expanded classroom where expert staff is on hand to help. The service lasts forever, but the huge holiday sale is only until December 30th. So hurry in today to Bonnie's Sewing Center on Wilder Road, Bay City.
This holiday season, your COVID vaccine could be the greatest gift we get. Sincerely,
the elderly.
People with compromised immune systems. Pregnant women.
People who work with the public.
The healthcare heroes.
The medically ineligible. Your family and friends.
Do your part to protect yourself and everyone else. Visit michigan.gov/COVID vaccine to get started. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Back door wide open is Bloom. He scores!
That was a good play right there.
The Saginaw Spirit return to action this Friday night when they host the Windsor Spitfires at the Dow Event Center. Tune in for game time coverage beginning at 6:50 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. Plenty of seats are still available for this Friday and Saturday night's games. Visit SaginawSpirit.com for ticket information.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on WSGW.
1 week away from Christmas. As we continue here on Focus, Bill Hobson sitting in for Art Lewis, and we're taking your calls about your favorite Christmas traditions. Ted is in Shepherd joining us on the program. Hi, Ted.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Talk to me about Christmas traditions. What do you miss the most?
Well, when I was a child, and you got to remember this was a long time ago, the one thing I look forward to is my mother always gave us an orange. We didn't get any oranges the rest of the year. We didn't have much of anything. So that was pretty special, getting an orange on Christmas morning. She peeled it, and that was one of my gifts.
That's an interesting memory. And as you look back on it now, it brings back, I'm guessing, a fond memory. At the time, were you disappointed? Were you thrilled?
Oh, Christmas is always thrilling. You know that. I mean, when you're a little kid, that's the day you look forward to.
Yeah, that's true. Ted, what is, by the way, the definitive Christmas movie in your world?
Oh, probably The Christmas Story.
Yeah, I think you have to go there. I was trying to think of what might, outperform it. And, Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation is pretty funny, but it's not quite as nostalgic, I guess you would say, as Little Ralphie and the threat of shooting his eye out.
Yeah.
So what will Christmas be like for you this year, Ted?
Well, I don't know. It's going to church and thanking the Lord for all the blessings.
Yeah. Yeah. There are that's not talked about nearly enough, but it is truly a great time for reflection and for gratitude.
That's for sure. We don't have enough of that in our society.
Yeah. Great. Hey, Ted, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas. We appreciate your call.
Thank you. You do the same.
All right. 989-752-6111. We'll take another break here on Focus and be back after this.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. It's mac and cheese season, folks, and we created a menu dedicated to its dangerously creamy goodness. How about tangy Cajun chicken, smoked bourbon street sausage, crispy southern fried chicken? We got all the macs to get your taste buds jumping. Ooh, wait! So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch, exit 212, I-75, where hunger goes to die.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, get great deals on a variety of Craftsman tools all month long for those DIYers in your family, like the 20-volt drill driver combo with a battery and charger for just $119. With a deal like that, we're putting unfinished projects on notice. Looking at you, loose doorknob. That's the drill driver combo, just $119. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and NapaOnline.com. While supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/21.
This is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Do you want to be a hero for the holidays? How about getting your loved one a new iPhone? That's right. Pure Talk has iPhone 12 starting at just $479 through the end of the year. And sure, they have 13s too. Switch to Pure Talk. Great nationwide 5G coverage. Yes, the same coverage as the big guys, but the average family saves over $800 a year. Now that's just smart. There's no need to overpay for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Plus, with Pure Talk's 30-day risk-free guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. And like I said, the iPhone 12, just $479. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill50, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Plus, save on a new phone. That's pound 250, say Jill50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Well, let's take one more call before we wrap up Focus. Wayne, I believe, is in Gaylord. Hi, Wayne. Welcome on to WSGW.
Hey, Bill. Glad to talk to you. Hey, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you hear this a lot, but
You sound so much like Ernie Johnson of the TNT NBA. Your voice does it. Did anybody ever tell you that before?
Yeah, I've been getting that more and more frequently, and nobody in my family agrees, but apparently a lot of listeners do, and I'm flattered by that because Ernie is one of my favorite figures in all of the broadcasting world. What a great man, and I'd be thrilled to be in his category. That's for sure.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, very so.
I just lost my dad, and it's been kind of tough. Mom's in a nursing home now. Actually, I'm on my way down for a funeral. My cousin passed away, but Christmas has really changed because Mom and Dad, they're the ones that kind of held the family together. Now everybody does their own thing. And it's just sad. It's kind of depressing. You know, me and my wife, we have one daughter. She lives downstate, but it's not what it used to be. Our whole family got together for Christmas. It was just so much fun. I just miss those days. And
yeah,
and you don't know how much you miss your parents once they're gone. You know,
well,
you take it for granted.
That is so well said, Wayne, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with that loss and that difference because as everybody who has lost a loved one knows that at the holiday times, that's an especially poignant part of the experience where you look at that empty setting at the table or whatever the situation may be, and it's really, really difficult. And I don't look forward to that day. I'm blessed to still have my parents with us, but it won't. We know that nothing lasts forever. And my encouragement to you would be to really draw on the wonderful memories from years past and to thank the Lord for those moments as opposed to dwelling on the sadness of not having them here. And I know that's easy for, guy behind microphone to say, but in reality, if we allow that sadness to drag us down, it doesn't probably serve your dad's legacy very well, because I'm sure he would want you to embrace the celebration that is Christmas. So I hope you're able to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bill. And I'm trying to get over it. It's hard.
Yeah.
I stay at Mom and Dad's house. We haven't put it up for sale yet. So they live in Utica, Michigan. So every time I go in the house, I got to tell you one thing. It was during the funeral. I spent the night at Mom and Dad's house when I left the funeral home. And when I drive downstate, I'd get in the house and Mom and Dad would probably be in bed already, but they always kind of waited up for me when they knew I was coming down. And I'd always say, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm here." And Dad would always say, "Hey, son, I'm so glad to hear your voice." Well, I said that when I got back from the funeral home. And, it was a strange thing, Bill. When I said that, "Hey, Mom and Dad," the lights flickered on and off. At that time when I said that, I'm saying, "Oh my gosh, that was something."
Well, Wayne, we wish you a wonderful Christmas, and your dad would be honored by the fact that you look back on his time favorably. And I think of those who don't have that to draw on, who maybe grew up in a less than loving home, and count your blessings, because you definitely were blessed to have parents that love you. And thanks for sharing that memory with us. And we'll be praying that throughout the holiday season, you can draw on those very positive memories of Dad and Mom. We're going to wrap things up with our ticker update. Steve Anderson joins us for some thoughts and advice as we get near the end of the year and putting together all of those pieces in our financial puzzle. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I am doing quite well. How about you?
We're doing all right a week before Christmas. What advice do you have for us today?
Well, first I'll tell you what the markets are doing, and then I'll give you the advice, and I'll do it all in a very rapid fashion here.
All right.
We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now is down by 278 points, putting it at 35,618, volume 578 million shares. NASDAQ, however, is ahead by 78 points, putting it at 15,258 on volume of 533 million shares. We've got options expiration today for all kinds of things. That's kind of what's driving the market around right now. Now, as far as a tip that is especially timely at this time of year, is for people who are of the age that they need to take a required minimum distribution from their IRA, 401k, whatever retirement plan that they have. You do reach a date where you have to start taking them out. And you do have to take them out before the end of the year. Anyone who misses their required minimum distribution or undercalculates it or for whatever reason does not complete that, finish the process of receiving their required minimum distribution, there is a penalty attached to that, and that penalty equals 50% of the amount that you were supposed to take out. So if you miss $2,000, you have to pay the federal government $1,000 in addition to whatever taxes were due. So it's a costly mistake. Don't do it. Double check, especially people that have IRAs in multiple locations. You don't have to take an RMD out of each location, but you do have to add them all up and make sure that the numbers match. So
that is very good advice indeed. And for those who have questions, where would you direct them?
Well, you can call us right here at Baird in Saginaw. The telephone number is 989-790-5724. You can reach the Midland location at 989-839-9035. Or you can find us on the web at rwbaird, that's BAIRD.com, and then look for whichever office you're trying to reach.
Very good. Steve, thanks so much. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Well, thank you, Bill. You do the same to you and yours.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here with My Time on WSGW. Up next is Terry Henney, and to all of you, if we don't get a chance to talk before next week, a Merry Christmas to you also.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for 120 Fitness in Saginaw. You are going to get your monthly membership to 120 Fitness for only $16. It's usually $32, but you are getting yours half off. 120 Fitness offers 2 floors of top-of-the-line cardio equipment, a variety of strength training equipment, and fitness classes like yoga and Zumba. If you want to get in shape in a clean and comfortable environment, head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This season, there's a new choice for your fields. Zetavo soybean seed, designed with triple stacked Enlist E3 technology for weed control flexibility. Supported by a dedicated team of BASF agronomic experts. Protected by the versatile BASF soybean crop protection portfolio. Zetavo soybean seed, stacked in your favor. Zetavo from MS Technologies, distributed exclusively by BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Thumb Bank and Trust offers community farmers the welcome opportunity of working with people who understand the unique needs and challenges of farming. I'm Jared Fisher, Ag Specialist for Thumb Bank and Trust, and I'm also a proud farmer. All of our agricultural loan experts are working farmers, and that's just part of why Thumb Bank and Trust has been recognized as one of Michigan's premier agricultural lenders. It takes a farmer to understand the unique needs and challenges of another farmer, and it takes the lending capital available at
Mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. 33 degrees at the airport. A little bit warmer here at Radio Center. We're currently 36. Downtown Midland is at 32. Downtown Bay City coming in at 36. A west wind under 10 miles per hour. How about that? We'll take it. Sunshine, we'll take that. Very little, if any, snow or slick road conditions. We'll take that. Wind chill, we got a little bit of a wind chill. 25 right now, 30.25 and rising is the barometric pressure. We owe all that to a high pressure system, which is just to the north of us right now. And then there's a bigger one, a much larger high pressure that's to the south. And that's the reason why we're seeing the weather that we are. Unfortunately, that southern high pressure is not far enough to the east of us to be able to draft a little bit warmer weather conditions, but that's okay. We should be 34 for this time of the year. And by the time it's all done, we'll actually be above average. We're looking for a high of 38. Clouds will be on the increase as we go into the afternoon. And especially after sunset tonight, we're going to begin to see the clouds really thicken up. The reason why is because there is a low pressure system right now that's over northern Texas. It's going to be moving into eastern Missouri as we go through the afternoon. And by noon tomorrow, that low is going to be over eastern Ohio. Again, as we've said the last couple of days, that low pressure system being to the south of us, we're on the cold side of it. We're also on the snowy side of it. So tonight and during the day tomorrow, there are going to be some snow showers around. The further south you get and the further east you get in the state of Michigan, the better chance of seeing measurable amount of snow, but not a lot. If Detroit picks up a couple inches, that's probably going to be about it. So if you are traveling in that direction or heading toward Ann Arbor, even Lansing is going to pick up an inch, maybe a little bit more. But for us here in the Great Lakes Bay region, an inch, I think, would probably be the most that we will see. But again, the ground is still quite warm. We had 2 record-breaking high-temperature days in a row. Where we were talking yesterday, 62 degrees, and that high temperature was set about 7:45 yesterday morning. And then as we went through the day, the temperatures continued to fall. 38 is not bitter cold. Again, it's above average, and our low tonight is only going to drop down to about 31 with those clouds on the increase. We should be at 23 for this time of the year. Now, tomorrow, a lot closer. Let's call it an average day, 35 degrees with clouds, snow showers, especially in southern Michigan and along the lake shoreline in southeastern Michigan. That is going to be the best chance of seeing any snow showers. Northeast breeze late tonight and early tomorrow morning, but again, under 10 miles per hour. Then during the day tomorrow, that northeast breeze is going to become a little bit more northerly, but still 10 miles per hour. That's going to be about it. Tomorrow night, skies will clear. Northwest breeze about 10. Will drop down to 22 for a low tomorrow night. So that's what's average. Then on Sunday, we're going to be looking at partly cloudy skies. Temperature will be right around the freezing mark, 32, 33 degrees with a light west breeze. Sunday night, the clouds will move in a little bit, upper 20s for a low. Then on Monday, we'll be right around 40 degrees. So we'll be looking at some clouds maybe early, partly cloudy skies, partly cloudy on Monday night, 22. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right now, temperatures will be hovering 32, 34, 35 degrees during the day, 22 to 25 degrees at night. We're going to keep our eye on a system that is going to be moving in our direction. It could affect our weather on Wednesday night or during the day on Thursday. We're just going to have to keep our eye on it. And that, with fingers crossed, could be just what we need to give us a white Christmas. Now, record high in this state is going to stand, 51. That was set back in 2006. The record low, 5 below zero, that's going to stand for sure. 1951 is when that record was set. A year ago, 31 was our high, 27 was our low. And again, as I said, we did break the record high temperature yesterday. We also broke a record as far as wind speed goes out at MBS International. Southwest wind, 62 miles per hour yesterday. So a couple of days in a row of high winds, coupled with a day and a half or so over the weekend. I think we've just about had enough. And it does appear as though now the 60 degrees, the mid-50s, we aren't going to see any days like that for a little while, at least through the end of the year. And I got a funny feeling temperatures in January are going to stay a little bit on the cool side as well. Long-range outlook to take us through the end of the month is for our temperatures to be at or even slightly below average, precipitation values to be slightly above as we approach the Christmas weekend. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. In a moment, Gary Kaufman standing by at Star of the West. We'll take a look and see what's going on there. But before we do that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Thumb Bank, serving the needs of farmers for well over 125 years. They've got a couple locations in Bay City, also Cassidy, Caseville, Pigeon, and Bad Axe. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, the winds have finally died down. Now it looks like we can take a nice walk and we don't have to worry about throwing a bunch of change in our pockets.
Boy, was it wicked or what out there? Yeah, for sure. Nope, you can walk a little easier down the sidewalk this morning for sure.
What's going on? What's going on in the windy city of Chicago right now?
Well, yesterday we had positives across the board, and we got positives across the board here again this morning. So that's looks like we're going to finish out the week on a little firmer note, which is overall going to, get us on the positive side for corn and beans. Wheat's made a comeback here towards the end of the week, so it helped some of those earlier days of the week with a lot of negativity. So, but currently, let's call cash wheat up 6, Terry. I'll put the white at 736, the red at 701. New crop for next year up 2 at 765 on the white, 705 on the red. Cash corn currently up 6 at 542. New crop is up 3 at 495. Gas soybeans up 19 at 1231, and new crop up 6 at 1187.
Boy, the way we were moving through the middle of the week, I didn't think we'd ever see anything like this. It's nice to see the green there.
Yeah, it's a lot of negative, still kind of a tail off that report, with the beans, they say these big crops coming in South America, blah, blah, blah. And, export sales are down. But some of the new news is coming in the soybean meal prices here. There seems to be a shortage of synthetic lysine is the reason for meal's new popularity. And that meal market is just kind of taken off. And so soybeans are kind of rallying on that supportive factor. So, the demand for, strong demand for meal, creates a tighter supply situation than earlier realized now. So with Thursday's crush report from the USDA, shows that 1 bushel of soybeans at $12.77 in Illinois can produce $9.12 worth of meal and $7.28 worth of bean oil. So that's a handsome return. So they're going to be, making a lot of that and going to create a pretty good demand here. So I think that's what's rallying the soybeans, and wheat and corn are kind of along for a ride, I guess, at this point. So
yeah, that's what it sounds like. Now, we're getting into the holiday season here, the last 2 weeks of the year. Really, we don't see a lot of heavy movement one way or the other, do we?
No, generally no, because a lot of the traders, are on holiday or on vacation, and but sometimes what you may see some end of the year position squaring going on, and then sometimes when you got lighter volume, you get a little bit more volatility. But this morning, overnight, I mean, it was really quiet. And then here about mid-morning, things kind of sparked up here a little bit. But generally speaking, some of the key numbers we're going to watch here, Terry, like March corn, 592 has been kind of a high watermark here since probably, October. And the technical side of that, if we can close above 592 on the corn, we keep ticking up to that $6 mark, but we can't push through it. The high today was 598 3/4. So we're going to really watch that carefully, because it's going to trigger a buy point here if we close above 592 on March corn today. So that's been kind of a little bit of chatter I've been reading and hearing about this morning on the corn market, Terry. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. Have a nice weekend, Gary. We'll talk to you again.
I will. You do the same. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joins us. Market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. They are your Great Lakes Bay Ag certified dealers. So if you're looking for a new Ram commercial truck, you get it from a dealer that's been around since 1852. They know trucks and vans. Family and Service sells cars at Schaefer and Beerline. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
Here we go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Triple witching this weekend, so we got a lot of option contracts expiring.
And the full moon. The full moon on Saturday night. So
oh, my God.
There we go.
We're doomed. Well, crude was down $2.30 this morning. It's only down $1.30 today. So right now, so that's come back almost $1. I don't know, not much else going on. Energy definitely down 1.5% to 2.25%, and I guess they're buying the grain commodities. They got to buy something with their money because they're not buying anything else. So anyway, so here's the numbers. The March corn is 597 3/4, up 6.5 cents. December 22 corn is 549 3/4, up 2.5. The January soybeans 1294 1/4, up 17. The March soybeans 1295, up 16 3/4. The March wheat is 775 3/4, up 5 1/4. And then December 22 wheat is 775 1/4, up 3/4 of a penny. So crude oil is 70.84, down $1.31. The heating oil is 222 1/4, that's down 4 cents. Gasoline 213, down 4 3/4 cents. Natural gas is 364 1/2, that's up 2.5 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you $1.2830 at the border. That's up 60 ticks. The yen is at 113.55, down 15 ticks. The euro is at 112.70. That's down 54 ticks. The dollar's at 96.35, up 31 ticks. Gold is finally going up, 1807.20, up $10.60. Silver's at 22.50, up a penny. And platinum's at 9.32. It's up $3.10.
Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Talk to you on Monday. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We'll be right back.
Whether your family farm has been passed down through generations or you're just getting started, knowledge and partnership fuel constant growth along the way. As the legacy of your farm strengthens, shared values and a never-ending commitment remain. ACH Seeds is proud to work with you to sustain your continued growth. This partnership, driven by a shared passion that never stops growing, is refined over time and cultivated in common ground.
This is Jeff Karst, your ACH Seeds representative. Our 2022 lineup is better than ever. Crystal Beet seed varieties offer a full spectrum of defensive traits combined with top-performing yield and sugar potential. And speaking of defense, ask me about our new CR Plus trait offered in select Crystal varieties. Not only does this offer the potential for less spraying, but it also protects yields while doing so. I look forward to hearing from you and working toward continued success. Thanks again for partnering with ACH Seeds.
ACH Seeds. Good things come from common ground.
Along with me is Galen Beard right now with AgroLiquid. Galen, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Terry. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. We finally got ourselves a calm day. This has been kind of wild the last few days, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, I grew up in western Oklahoma, so the wind we had in Michigan isn't too unfamiliar, but they certainly got hit in the mid part of the country this week.
Yeah, from what I understand, we're talking close to 100-mile-an-hour winds out there.
Yeah, there were some gusts registered over that. I think I saw a gust of 107 out in the tip of the Oklahoma Panhandle.
Wow, that is something else. Galen, tell me a little bit about what producers are asking and what they should be aware of right now as we approach the end of the year.
Yeah, I think, the most common thing is this year is there going to be enough supply of fertilizer for everyone. And, right now, I think we're seeing that the supplies are building a little bit. It's certainly not going to be a lot of extra, but we are here, we're kind of feeling a little bit of loosening of that tight supply that we've been feeling. Also, obviously, price has been a concern. We've had more than one person come up to us and mention that fertilizer prices are high, and we are aware of that. And it just is a function of some supply chain interruptions and some strong demand and a lot of competition for the available fertilizer that is out there.
So at this stage of the game, obviously it's keep in contact with the people that you need to talk to about when you should pick up the product and how readily available it is. And if you can shave a little bit without cutting back on your possible production.
Yeah. That's the challenge that we're all faced with, whether we're making a recommendation for a grower, that grower's looking at his checkbook. It's to kind of figure out how he makes it right. You were given the December 2022 prices. And I mean, when you're aligning your costs with that revenue, it's a little out of whack this year. So make sure you're talking to someone that really understands your farm and your nutrient needs. The other strategy some guys might consider is, on some of the nutrients like nitrogen, that can be spread out over a longer window. And I certainly would go in to the season with a decent amount of nitrogen down. But if you kind of treated it like you would market your crops, maybe look and say, could I come back in with a side dress application or a wide drop application? I mean, there's some risk to it because, the supply isn't certain, but I think, that it would give an opportunity for the prices to ease a little bit on those later applications and help that pocketbook out a little bit. Good suggestions. Galen Beard, thank you very much. Have a great holiday and a very Merry Christmas, okay? All right. Same to you and your listeners. You bet. Galen Beard with AgroLiquid. Kim Weiss joining me right now from Lingle Equipment. Kim, talking end of the year.
That's right, Terry. And a beautiful sunshiny day it is today. And I think somewhere along the line, that's going to change. And there is going to be some changes towards Kubota here in 2022. Like Doug said, the price of gold is going up. So the price of materials goes up and the price of Kubota is going to go up. So if you're looking for something in a small utility tractor with a snowblower on the front, or I even have some of the BX series or the LX series and B series tractors with loaders, and even a couple of ag utility tractors yet, give me a call. Let's sit down and put it on paper. If we don't have it, we can get it for you sometime in 2022. And Kubota this year is allowing us to price protect and program protect so you can get the old prices and the good programs that they have here going at the end of the year. It's very important. Give me a call at 989-754-7801 or stop in and see us right alongside I-75 south of Zilwaukee Bridge off the Washington Road exit, or send me an email and I'll get the information to you at k.weiss, WEISS, at lingo1.com.
Kim, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, okay?
You too have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to all you and your listeners.
All righty.
Max Armstrong here. You know, it's time to start thinking about next year's crop, including fertilizer. This year, the cost and even the availability of nitrogen is on most farmers' minds. Pivot Bio created a new nitrogen, predictable in both performance and price, so farmers can be more confident.
Pivot Bio Proven 40, the nitrogen that stays put, weather or not. To learn more, contact Sean at Ag Armor Seeds. Call 1-866-BIG-YIELD.
A new year calls for a new Deere. Get ready for 2022 with the John Deere compact utility tractor from Hudson. We're offering 0% for 84 months financing on all compact tractors through the end of this year. Own a new 1023E for just $203 a month, or step up to the 1025R for $227 a month. Come by Hudson, your local John Deere dealer, or visit us online at HudsonInc.com to see if you qualify. Offers end December 31st, 2021. Some restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
Some interesting ideas when it comes to decorating with containers that might be sitting empty right now. Chuck Cervinsky joining me from Maple Hill. Chuck, what do you think we should do?
You know, rather than look at those empty planters for the next couple of months, why not make some holiday arrangements in them for the holiday season and the next couple of months of winter? And what's fun about it is you can use materials that are found in most of our backyards, trimmings from overgrown junipers and yews, as well as boxwood and holly, if you happen to have those, can be transformed into beautiful outdoor arrangements in pots. And you can add a little character to them if you've got a red twig dogwood in the yard, or simply cut some branches and paint them a bright color, and that will give the arrangement some color contrast, and maybe add a few old Christmas ornament bulbs to give it a little color as well. And most of the outdoor arrangements are going to look good and last well into the end of February and give you some visual interest during an otherwise dreary time of the year.
Sounds great. For more information on how to decorate, hey, you've got some suggestions. We can get a hold of you. How do we do that?
Definitely. Give us a call at 989-835-4708.
Chuck Cervinsky, take care. Have a nice weekend, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our radio program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. Fears of a rapidly increasing tornado death toll in Kentucky have eased.
Statewide, we're now down to one missing person.
And Governor Andy Beshear said this morning 77 are known to have died in the destruction in that state.
The missions are starting